43. Here's 41. And right along the border here with Murray County, south of Dalton. And then this tornado warning, which is issued for this part of Jackson County near Bridgeport. Again, the velocity scan is not quite as obvious, but you can see a little bit of that just east of Bridgeport. So we're keeping an eye on that for that far northeast corner of Jackson County. That is out, I believe, till 11:45. But heads up in Dade County. That'll be coming up and over Sand Mountain. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then, of course, we got this storm approaching Scottsboro. This one has already produced some damage in Madison County to the west. And you can see, again, looking at the velocity scan, just west of Scottsboro. Take this very seriously. There it is, south of Pleasant Groves, northeast of Woodville, and right along Alabama 35. Seek shelter immediately in these areas of Jackson County and just west of Scottsboro. Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's an update. If they've updated the language on that warning, I think they did.
Several expire in 1 minute, so we're about to see.
Yeah, we may see some extensions there.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's still moving east at 35. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a tracker on this one. Let's pause it here for a second. Very concerned about this particular storm as it moves right along 35. So Scottsboro, Pleasant Groves, of course, Scottsboro and eventually Pisgah in line of that storm as it moves to the east. Again, this is a storm with radar indicator rotation. It's had a history of producing some damage, so heads up in Scottsboro, Pleasant Groves, Pisgah, all this area right along 72, and then westward along 35 west of Scottsboro. As Lexi mentioned, we're nearing some expiration times of a few warnings, so we'll see if they, if they extend some of those. We're still seeing across parts of Marion County and Hamilton County, a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. Again, these are all right now below severe levels. That's good. But again, still dangerous of lightning threat. Still ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings over Cherokee, Polk, Monroe County. And you're going to be keeping a high priority here on the tornado warned storms. Now, again, those tornado warnings just expired. Notice again, the tornado warnings have expired. We're going to hold it here to see if they extend that for that area near Chatsworth. Look at all the lightning here just over the past 10 minutes. Look at all the lightning around Dalton. And you can still see the radar indicator rotation is still noted there. You can see it right there along the Murray-Whitfield County line. And then right here just east of Chatsworth. So again, those two tornado warnings have expired. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for obvious reasons because even if you don't have a tornado forming, this could still cause strong wind gusts and even stronger with the upslope flow going up Fort Mountain. And then this one going over southern Murray, a little bit tighter, smaller bit of rotation, but still could cause strong wind gusts south of Chatsworth in southern Murray. So again, these severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect, but at the moment, they've let the tornado warnings expire. So Gilmer, Murray, this now includes all of Gilmer to Ellijay. Severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15, roughly the next hour. And then this warning ongoing for Catoosa, Murray, Walker, Whitfield until 12:15 after midnight. Again, golf ball size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Again, I know the tornado warning has been expired for this, which we always say is a good thing, but these storms are so strong, you got to treat these severe thunderstorms as you would a tornado warning. Stay in your safe place until these storms pass by and you get the all clear out of that warning. Now, this part of Dade and Walker, this warning was issued a while back, but this is still in effect till 11:30. But this might get extended because this particularly nasty storm here moving out of Jackson County still technically has a tornado warning with it till 11:45 Eastern. As you can see, it's on the Sand Mountain part of Jackson and then eventually Dade County. And again, there's been some radar indicated rotation with that. The reason why there's a tornado warning with that in that part of Jackson County. So heads up in Trenton as that moves farther off to the east. Yeah, it's very ragged in appearance on the velocity scan, but nevertheless a strong storm. Now let's go back down here to just west of Scottsboro. Very concerned about this storm. Again, almost right along 35. This is Alabama Highway 35 west, going westbound out of Scottsboro. Again, potential tornado with this storm. Radar indicated rotation. This has had a history of producing damage in Madison County. And again, quarter-size hail could be accompanying that storm. That is moving east at about 35. So again, folks in Scottsboro, folks in Section, please be aware of the severity of this storm as it moves closer to you for the potential that it has. If you take a look at this, even outside the velocity scan, you can see kind of rotating around that flank of this western part of that storm just southwest of Scottsboro. But it appears to be broad rotation right there, just west of Scottsboro. Again, your tornado warning in Scottsboro is out until 11:45 Eastern, 10:45 Central. Dangerous looking storm there. Again, they extended that warning here. Let's get you caught up at what's happening in North Georgia. They extended that tornado warning there. Just issued moments ago, this is an updated tornado warning for western Gilmer, southern Murray, southeastern Whitfield. And again, we've been tracking this. This is exactly the same circulation we noted in southern Whitfield. Let's pull it up here. You can see it right there. Tornado warning for western Gilmer, southern Murray, southeastern Whitfield until 11:15 Eastern time. No. Excuse me, until midnight Eastern. At 11:15, moments ago, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Dalton. That was about 6 minutes ago. Moving east at 35 miles an hour. Another rotation and damaging winds was located near Ramhurst in southern Murray County. Also moving east at 35. So you can see both of these circulations, both these rotations. Let me expand the view of our radar scope here. These are the two rotations seen, here and here. This is the reason why tornado warning continues in these areas. This could cause possible tornadic damage, of course, in these areas of far southern Whitfield, southern Murray, and into Gilmer County. This will be in effect till midnight Eastern. This is all moving east at around 35 miles an hour. Each of these rotations moving east at 35. This one here, moving rapidly. So again, these are Doppler radar indicated rotations. We've been tracking those. The warning had expired, but they reintroduced that, again, just moments after expiration to allow a larger area to be seen for the same rotations noted there. Again, these are Doppler radar indicated tornado warnings for that broad rotation there. And this one here, just east of Chatsworth, going right up and over That was near Ramhurst, actually going toward Fort Mountain. And you can see those kind of moving in tandem with each other off to the east. Here and here, here and here. Again, that tornado warning out until midnight Eastern, more specifically for western Gilmer, southern Murray, southeastern Whitfield County. We'll watch those. Let's go back to Scottsboro as that storm draws closer. You can see that storm getting just a little bit closer there. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated rotation. That tornado warning near Scottsboro and that part of Jackson County, that remains in effect for about the next 22 minutes till 11:45 Eastern time. That storm now nearing Scottsboro, right between Woodville and Scottsboro. This is right along Highway 35, north of Highway 72. This is a radar confirmed tornado. Radar confirmed tornado, Scottsboro, just west of Scottsboro and just east of Woodville. Get to safe shelter immediately in Scottsboro. This warning's been out for quite some time in Scottsboro, but again, the updated outlook from the National Weather Service in Huntsville, this is a radar confirmed tornado near Woodville and right near Scottsboro, moving east-southeast at around 40 miles an hour. Other areas that could be impacted by the storm are Dutton, right now over Pleasant Groves, Larkinsville, Limrock, and Martintown. Repeating, this is a tornado, a confirmed radar tornado on the ground. Take cover now, west is just right near Scottsboro. Seek shelter immediately with this one. Again, this is a tornado warning that's going to stay in effect until 10:45 Central Time for Central Jackson County. This is a confirmed tornado near Woodville or near right now just west of Scottsboro, moving southeast at 40 miles an hour. This is a damaging tornado, could have quarter-size hail with it. This has been confirmed by radar. And again, seek shelter now in Scottsboro as this storm draws closer. It is moving east at about 40 miles an hour. We've had a lot of these storms that have had radar rotation with them, but this one in particular could have a tornado with it. Now I want to get here and point this out. You can see it right here. We've been kind of manning things here at the radar center, but I wanted to just point that out. For you this area right over Scottsboro, this is a confirmed tornado right here, right along U.S. Highway, or Alabama Highway 35. Here's U.S. Highway 72 right here as it moves off to the east. Very dangerous situation there in Jackson County. We'll pull the controls up here. It's very rare that you get a radar confirmed tornado. That's what we have here. There's Larkinsville, Limrock, these areas, these smaller communities that could be impacted by that storm in Jackson County. That is right along these areas along 35. And then Alabama 79 going north and south of there, US 72 right here that goes from Scottsboro over to Huntsville. Again, this is a radar confirmed tornado. Seek shelter immediately in these areas, folks. I can't urge that enough. This is for that west central part of Jackson County. Farther downstream from here, as we watch this, as it moves past Scottsboro, be aware, Dutton, you're in the polygon, this tornado warning polygon that'll cross over the Tennessee River and then toward Dutton. But again, in Scottsboro, you need to seek shelter now. Get to your safe place. Again, that safe place, lowest level of your home, a sturdy structure, away from windows. Have a hallway, closet, small bathroom. Just have more walls protecting you from the outside. Stay Stay away from windows, basement, storm shelter is more preferred. This is a very dangerous storm. This has already had a history of producing damage in Madison County, moved into western Jackson County, and now has been confirmed by the National Weather Service in Huntsville for that area right along 35 from Larkinsville, Limrock to around Scottsboro. Velocity scan can see the broad circulation there, rotation noted just west of Scottsboro. Okay, I'll go back to the controls here. Again, we have so many severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing across our viewing area, but of course, tornado warnings take higher priority here. We'll keep an eye on that for Scottsboro. Again, we do still have the tornado warning. It's been the polygon's shortened just a little bit now. You can see just west of Ellijay, tornado warned storm. This is going up and over, say near Fort Mountain. Here's 76 over Fort Mountain going down into Ellijay. Highway 2 going down into Ellijay. This is the broad circulation here on the western edge of Gilmer County, bordering Murray County. And then right behind it, other rotation noted just south of Chatsworth along 76 right here. This is why these tornado warnings remain in effect. That polygon has been shortened just a little bit with that, so I believe they've taken out Whitfield out of that warning. I believe they took Whitfield out of that warning. Yeah, the southeastern Whitfield County is out of that tornado warning, okay? This still remains in effect for Gilmer and that part of Murray County until midnight. That is roughly the next 30 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on this. Heads up in Ellijay. You're under this tornado warning. With this rotation noted, this is our Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. Same thing south of Chatsworth.
You had confirmed hail in Jasper, Tennessee?
Confirmed hail. Did it say what size in Jasper?
No.
Okay. We've had some reports of large. There was one report, teacup size, but I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. That was way up north of Bledsoe County earlier tonight, so it's been rather impressive. Let's go back to Scottsboro again. High priority on these tornado warnings, folks. This was a confirmed tornado. So there you can see the rotation noted on the radar. Near Scottsboro. This remains in effect until 11:45. All right, here's an update. Radar confirmed tornado. This emergency management confirms a tornado on the ground at Highway 35 and County Road 11. County Road 11. So we'll zoom in a little bit tighter here. That is let me read this again. Radar confirmed tornado from emergency management confirms a tornado on the ground at Highway 35 and County Road 11 near Scottsboro. So again, this is a confirmed tornado located around Scottsboro, in Scottsboro, moving east at 25 miles an hour. Again, emergency management confirms a tornado on the ground at Highway 35 and County Road 11. It's basically been paralleling 35 with it moved through Larkinsville, Limrock area. Very close to Scottsboro right here. Seek shelter immediately in these areas. Again, that was from emergency management in Jackson County. Confirmed tornado on the ground, Highway 35 and County Road 11. Again, seek shelter in these areas, lowest of your home, away from windows. Wait there until you get the all clear, until we give the all clear about this. This is a particularly dangerous situation with a confirmed tornado on the ground by emergency management. Folks in Scottsboro, seek shelter there. And again, keep in mind, Dutton, Hollywood, you're in this polygon here. This remains in effect until 11:45 Eastern, 10:45 Central. Dutton, Larkinsville actually has moved now east of Larkinsville, and Limrock had been in line of that storm. But Scottsboro at 10:30 Central, and section potentially around 10:40. Again, radar confirmed tornado. Emergency management confirms the tornado on the ground, Highway 35 and County Road 11 near Scottsboro. It's a very large storm moving through that western part of Jackson County and central Jackson County. Again, this is a tornado warning for central Jackson County, which includes Scottsboro, until 10:45 Central, 11:45 Eastern Time. Again, this is an observed tornado in and around Scottsboro. There's the whole scope of the whole storm there. So as it continues moving eastward, it'll be impacting this eastern part of the polygon right along and then just east of the Tennessee River. The expiration time, again, is coming up in about 11 minutes. It's probably still going to be ongoing, but heads up in Pisgah, Section, and Dutton. So where there are 2 tornado warnings locally at the moment, the one over Gilmer County, and this is not confirmed. This is radar indicated rotation. You see that now right here, which is west of Ellijay. And smaller one just as you approach going up Fort Mountain, just south of 76. Not quite as pronounced as it once was. But that continues that tornado warning for that part of Gilmer County, all the way to Ellijay. That polygon right here, still in effect. On top of that, severe thunderstorm warning out for that part of Gilmer County. West of Scottsboro, please note there are other tornado warned storms in and around Huntsville that will be moving south and east. So again, you may have another round coming up for Jackson County as we watch what's happening in Limestone and Madison County. Very dangerous situation in Scottsboro. I cannot stress that enough. Again, this was the National Weather Service update 9 minutes ago from Huntsville. It was a confirmed tornado right near Scottsboro, moving east at 25 miles an hour. Radar confirmed tornado. Emergency management 9 minutes ago confirmed a tornado on the ground at Highway 35 and County Road 11. Again, this storm near Scottsboro at the moment, and eventually in and around the section area by 10:40, roughly the next few minutes. We're zoomed in right over Scottsboro. You need to be in your safe place now, immediately, if you've not already done so. The reason why we're keeping the radar on this particular storm in Jackson County is because of the severity of this warning. This warning in effect for the next 8 minutes, tornado warning. Very strong storm in and around Scottsboro, moving to the east at 25 miles an hour. This has been a confirmed tornado near Scottsboro. Emergency management confirmed the tornado on the ground in that part of Jackson County. Of course, flying debris will be dangerous for those caught without shelter. So seek shelter immediately in these areas. Heads up in Hollywood. And for these areas, moving right along toward Highway 40. That's Alabama 40, and then crossing US 72. Right in this area. Again, strong velocity noted here in and around Scottsboro, this tornado warned storm. This again is for west central and central Jackson County. This tornado warning out until 10:45 Central, 11:45 Eastern Time. You see where it came from, moving down from Pleasant Groves through Scottsboro now and moving toward the east, right along and just east of Highway 72, close to Section. And be aware of this in neighboring areas of DeKalb County, Henniger, and Sylvania as this storm continues moving off to the east. Now I'll leave the velocity scan noted. You can see exactly where that storm's been moving from. It had produced damage in Madison County moving east, and then notice back here near Huntsville, another well-developed storm back here as it moves to the east as well. But this part right along Highway 72, this part in around just east of Scottsboro. Now that tornado warning remains in effect. Emergency management's confirmed it on the ground. Radar's confirmed this on the ground. We certainly, hope for the best in situations like this when you deal with storms of this magnitude. When you hear confirmation of a tornado, you always get a little frightened by that. But that's why we want to calmly let you know where it is, get to your safe place immediately. But of course, hoping for the best as this storm passes on by. But again, this warning remains in effect for about the next 5 minutes. So we'll keep you updated. Should there be an update on that? That from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. But for you folks in your section, east of Scottsboro now, that storm now crossing right along 72. Again, that's been confirmed by radar and confirmed by emergency management there in Jackson County. Aside from that, a tremendous amount of lightning, heavy rain with that storm. So again, it could be disguising if there is a tornado with it, the sound of the thunder, sound of the rain disguising that. So please be aware of that. The eastward movement is going to take it into the rest of east central Jackson and eventually into northern parts of DeKalb. So we're going to keep a close eye on that as it moves out of these areas. If it holds together, there might be an extension of this warning. This will expire, or at least the warning expired around the next 4 minutes. I have a feeling there may be an extension with that. And this gives you a better look. You're looking at reflectivity and rain. This gives you a better look of the storm. This is the velocity scan as it moves through. It's like moving now east of Scottsboro, right between Pisgah and Section. And they just did extend that tornado warning. There it is. All right, there it is. DeKalb and Jackson, there's been an extension of this tornado warning until 11:30 Central. That's 12:30 Eastern. Here is the word from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Tornado warning central Jackson County, northeastern Alabama, and northeastern DeKalb County. At 10:41, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Scottsboro, moving east at 30. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. Now, this bulletin, it doesn't say confirmation like it did before. But nevertheless, we'll just assume this could still be producing a tornado. It's the reason why a tornado warning has been issued. The storm near Scottsboro moving east at 30. Again, potential for tornado, potential for quarter-size hail as this continues moving east at around 30 miles an hour. Again, cities in the path of this. Scottsboro and Hollywood, of course, at the moment. Pisgah, around 10:50 Central. Henniger, around 11 p.m. Central. Eider, around 11:10. So, again, we have a new tornado warning polygon right here. This outline right here, which includes Scottsboro and areas to the east. Areas west of Scottsboro, this tornado warning will expire in the next 2 minutes, and you're in the clear from that particular cell, but there are more cells coming in just west of you. So, and I'll show you those coming in out of Madison County shortly. But we're more concerned about this one, which again, this is Doppler radar indicated rotation. So a possible tornado with that. This is not, the earlier bulletin that came out about 18 minutes ago had confirmed by emergency management and confirmed by the radar over Scottsboro of a tornado occurring. This is a Doppler radar indicated rotation noted now near Scottsboro. So a tornado warning to 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. And you can see that very well showing up there. Right between Scottsboro and Section. Moving east at 30. Certainly hope everybody's okay there in Scottsboro. And let's get everybody in your Pisgah warned. Pisgah, get to your safe place. Section, get to your safe place. Henniger, Eider, Sylvania. Now's the time to move to your safe place. Don't wait for it to get there. It's the reason these warnings are issued, to give you some lead time to get to safety. That's why we're on the air, folks. And that tornado warning out until the 12:15, I believe. Did I? No, excuse me, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. We'll put a tracker on this for you because, again, this will be going into potentially crossing the Georgia border in an hour or so. All right, let's take a look at a few areas. Again, this is where that tornado warned storm just east of Scottsboro is. So I can tell you, it's off the screen there, but anyway, Pisgah around 10:52 Central, right 11:04 in Henniger, around 11:13 Central in Eider, and then Eastern time around 12:27 after midnight, Sulphur Spring Station in southern Dade, and Masseyville, right on 12:38 a.m. Eastern. Again, notice Central, Eastern. This is a potential movement in this swath here over the next hour. Over the next hour. Move away from that for just a second. Okay, that tornado warning for Gilmer County has been allowed to expire. Correct? Yes. Okay, so now we have severe thunderstorm warning out for still Gilmer County in Murray till 12:15. We still have here severe thunderstorm warning Murray and Whitfield till 12:15. So again, all of these storms, again, tornado warning no longer associated with that. You know, there's still that rotation with it near Ellijay. And the rotation that was that secondary one kind of dissipated there. Still that one near Ellijay. So very strong wind gusts could be accompanying that storm in Ellijay. So just heads up, take that severe thunderstorm warning seriously. Take all severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. And again, we have, this is a tornado warning issued for Cherokee and Clay County. As we've been focusing on that one Jackson County. This is one popped off a few minutes ago, till 12:30 Eastern time. Tornado warning for Murphy to Hayesville. Okay, this is Doppler radar indicated. Tornado warning for central Cherokee and and Clay County. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Murphy a few minutes ago, moving east at 40 miles an hour. You can see in Cherokee and Clay, that is right along the Cherokee and Clay border. So from Murphy, here's 129 to Hayesville. This is a tornado warning, a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. Issued a few moments ago. That's out till 12:30 Eastern. 12:30 Eastern. You can see the broad rotation here. That storm now moving just east of Murphy, headed towards Hayesville. So if you folks in Clay County, be aware of that. That warning's out till 12:30 Eastern. Again, tornado warning out for central Clay County, central Cherokee County and Clay County till 12:30 a.m. All area outside of this is still covered under severe thunderstorm warning. So that is a new tornado warning there. Let me take you to this cell coming out of Madison County. This is moving right over the area that just had a tornado warning storm move through Gurley. Right along 72. This is in Madison County, east of Huntsville. So again, be aware of this in western Jackson County, another severe storm moving in. Now let's go back to this one in central Jackson County and northeastern DeKalb County under this new tornado warning out that was issued. You can see right now that more of that broad circulation. Again, this particular warning was a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. It was confirmed in Scottsboro. Then with the extension of the warning, more of a Doppler radar indicated warning. So right between Section and Pisgah. Again, this out till 12:15 Eastern, 11:15 Central, this tornado warning. And that goes all the way into DeKalb County. And it heads up again in DeKalb County because that storm near Gurley can move into western Jackson County. I said DeKalb, but I meant Jackson. So you have that one and then this one here. Now moving to the east of Scottsboro. Also locally, tornado warning in Cherokee County between Murphy and Hayesville. Right along the Cherokee and Clay County border. This is Doppler radar indicated rotation. So there's a potential for a tornado. There may not be one on the ground, but if there is, there's a potential right along 64 between Murphy and Hayesville into Clay County. This warning out till 12:30 Eastern. So heads up in Hayesville. Get to shelter. You're already under severe thunderstorm warning anyway. That got upgraded to a tornado warning right between Murphy and Hayesville. Yeah, that's out till 12:30 Eastern. Again, please note that is a tornado warning in this polygon. I'll show you this. The polygon right here in red outlining the tornado warning out till 12:30 Eastern. It includes all the Clay, most of Cherokee, although the worst part of that storm now is to the east of Murphy. Still raining heavily in Murphy, but there's a rotation potential that we're keeping an eye on for potential for a tornado. Things have improved a little bit from Chattanooga northward, although there's still numerous showers and storms out there staying below severe levels. We do have a strong storm moving through Franklin County. Severe thunderstorm warning with this one east of Huntland, near Swanee, till midnight midnight Eastern. Heads up as that can move into Marion County with another potential for wind gust and large hail. And again, that severe storm moving faster away from Scottsboro. And you can see it there in and around Pisgah, right here. We'll see if there's been an update from Huntsville on this one. Because again, very concerning with this one because there was a confirmation of the tornado before, and now it's a radar indicated warning. So again, this was a few moments ago for the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. So before it was a radar confirmed and on the ground confirmed by emergency management in and around Scottsboro. Now as it moves farther east, it is still showing rotation on the radar. No confirmation of a touchdown, but still nevertheless got to take this very seriously. Pisgah, Sylvania, Henniger, Dutton, Rosalie, and eventually Valley Head as you move into DeKalb County, Alabama. So this tornado warning polygon right here, this is in effect until 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. And then right on the heels of that, keep in mind, we're watching this cell coming out of eastern Madison County. So I anticipate Jackson County, you might see an extension of this warning in some form or fashion as a second storm rolls by near Gurley. This one not quite as pronounced with the circulation. It's a little bit west of Gurley along 72. And we'll go back to Cherokee and Clay. Tornado warning there from Cherokee and Clay County. Radar indicated rotation there right along the Cherokee and Clay County border. So getting closer to Hayesville, at the very least, some very strong wind gusts there. Again, this is a tornado warning, and I'll show you the polygon for that. That is right here. This out until 12:15 Eastern. This tornado warning here. And as you can see, many areas have been cleared from a lot of the severe thunderstorm warnings. Notice also, we're still tracking these repeated rounds of rain. This is going to cause deeper into the night the flash flooding risk. As these storms move on by with more lightning, thunder, we'll have to see how much energy was used from these storms. If these can, if the atmosphere can recover, if these regenerate, we'll have to wait and see. It's a wait and see approach here. And then notice farther back here, we're nowhere near being done. This is a line here that has to drop south and east late tonight. So eventually there'll be more of a southeasterly push with all this. So that is why the tornado watch remains in effect till 4 a.m. Eastern. And that's been extended till 4 a.m. Eastern time. As you've seen so often, so many of these storms have had rotation with it, and it caused the risk of tornadoes. And we are looking at the velocity scan in Jackson County. You can see between Dutton, Pisgah. So that circulation noted there. Right along Alabama 40. Just right along 71. So Henniger would be downstream from this. A little bit more of a southeast push, it looks like, with that, just a little bit. Right in here. Here's Pisgah, here's Henniger. As you cross into DeKalb County, so these areas remain under this tornado warning until, for basically the next 33 minutes, to 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern, Wednesday versus Thursday. In and around Chattanooga, it's a little noisy. And around Ringgold, it's a little noisy. But again, these are below severe levels. No warnings currently over that part of Chattooga, none over that part of Walker, none over that part of Hamilton County. So a little bit of a break for just a little while. We're not finished, though. Not by a long shot. Let's go back to that tornado warned storm between Murphy and Hayesville. Looks like, again, some rotation noted from Hayesville and north. You see it right there, Hayesville and north. So that tornado warning is out till 12:30 Eastern, next 30 minutes. At the very least, you can see causing some strong wind gust, ping pong ball size hail, and eastern movement at about 40 miles an hour. But it looks like the worst part of that storm's moved east of Murphy, and I believe they've shortened up that polygon. They sure did. So Murphy, you're no longer under that tornado warning. It's now squarely over Clay County. Squarely over Clay County. So Cherokee County, North Carolina, now out of that tornado warning. Let me get the updated info on that one. Yeah, the tornado warning for central Cherokee County, North Carolina has been allowed to expire. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Hayesville, moving east at around 30 miles an hour. So again, this is Doppler radar indicated rotation. You can see it right there on the velocity scan right there. And moving from Hayesville and just north of Hayesville, around like 64 and north, moving east at around 30 miles an hour. So potential for a tornado, but also potential for large hail, ping pong ball size hail in that area. So again, Cherokee County, North Carolina, no longer under the tornado warning, but Clay County is until 12:30. Still a nasty storm here over LJ. Again, just to keep you posted on this, these are severe thunderstorm warnings still out for Fannin, Gilmer till 12:45. Again, 70-mile-an-hour gust, large hail, heavy rain, lots of lightning. And again, it's a continuation of more strong storms rolling through. Murray and Whitfield. Severe thunderstorm warning continues till 12:15. And again, no warnings over Chattooga or Walker, but it's still raining heavily, lots of lightning. Beware of a flooding threat. And, we're keeping a close eye on northeast Alabama. Now we're seeing the worst part of this storm, getting closer to the DeKalb County line. And we got to watch this one coming out of Madison into western parts of Jackson. We'll have to see if they issue an advisory here. Hope everybody's okay in Scottsboro where that storm was confirmed for a while, that tornado. That storm has now moved farther off to the east. So it's over the southeastern part, really east central part of Jackson County, now over to DeKalb County. So right along Alabama 40 and 71, the intersection right there, just west of Henniger. Radar rotation noted there. Potential for a tornado. This has had a history of producing a tornado, a history of producing damage as well. Here's an update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville regarding this particular tornado here. Tornado warning remains in effect for southeastern Jackson, east central DeKalb County until 11:30 Central, that's 12:30 Eastern. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, as you can see, located near Pisgah, about 10 miles north of Rainsville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Again, potential for a tornado. This is Doppler radar indicated rotation, not confirmed like it was before, but again, please keep in mind a tornado could occur at any given time. Quarter-size hail with that. Again, it's approaching Henniger, but farther downstream, Sylvania. It's just north of Sylvania. And eventually near Valley Head, Mentone, and Rosalie all could be impacted between now and 11:30 Eastern.
There's small hail in Jasper.
In Jasper? Yeah, it looks, that's about a little, just smaller, almost ping pong ball size hail.
You think so?
It's close, yeah. Lexi showing me photos from hail in Dalton. Thanks for sending that in, everybody. We've had a lot of reports of large hail tonight. It's been a very, very dangerous night. What else are you seeing there, Lexi? Well, I'll take a tour of the radar here. What else are you seeing on these posted on our chime-in page?
Yes. And email. Lots of emailed photos
Okay.
to us. So far, we are getting a lot of hail confirmation and lightning photos
Yeah,
at the moment.
there's been a lot. It's been a paparazzi looking. I mean, we don't see that much anymore with
No.
flash cubes, but in the old days for iPhones, you would see a lot of flashes.
That's right. Stay inside if you can. Stay safe.
Yes. We don't. That's the thing. I don't mind if I see photos from a doorbell cam, other webcams. I just don't want anybody on their porch watching for things. All right. Still keeping an eye on that potential tornado Henniger. There's Brooks Crossroad right there. All right. Let's go back to the west a second. That other storm we warned about coming out of Madison County. Here it is. This is the new tornado warning. Issued for Jackson and Madison County. This is out to 11:45 Central, 12:45 Eastern Time. All right. Just issued. So this is for southwestern Jackson County. It goes right up to the doorstep of Scottsboro. Confirmed tornado. Here we go again. Confirmed tornado near Gurley, just north of US 72, 10 miles southeast of Moore Mill. This again is a confirmed tornado. Radar confirmed over Gurley. Gurley is right here where it borders Jackson County, right near the border with Madison County. So let's go to the velocity scan. This is a radar confirmed tornado near Gurley. And again, that's moving to the east at 30 miles an hour. All right, communities in line of that warning are going to be Gurley and eventually Scottsboro around 11:30. So Scottsboro, you may have just gotten out of your safe place. Go back to your safe place because I got that other storm coming in from the west. So areas like Paint Rock, Maysville, Limrock, Pleasant Groves, Garth, Larkinsville, Holly Tree, Brownsboro, also included in this tornado warning polygon. But it's around Gurley at the moment and could approach Scottsboro by 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. Again, this is a radar-confirmed tornado. Update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Again, this is, again, a confirmed one by radar. This is also, an emergency management confirmed tornado. This is emergency management confirmed tornado in Gurley and just north of 72. So there's 72 right here, just north of 72, a confirmed tornado. That's approaching the Madison-Jackson County line. So moving just west of Alabama 65, just north of US 72. Goodness. So in Jackson County, there are two ongoing tornado warnings. We got this one about to move out of the far eastern part of Jackson. Now let me show this to you because this has had a history of producing a tornado. This is right near Henniger moments ago. Still really well-defined rotation in the storm along Alabama 40 and then around Henniger. Still moving to the east, so heads up in Valley Head, Hammondville. You see it right there. Okay, this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. And then confirmed by emergency management, the tornado near Gurley in far eastern Madison County. But we're showing you this because this is now moving into Jackson County. Tornado warning, confirmed tornado near Gurley, north of 72. That is moving east at 30. So between now and 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, we'll draw closer to Scottsboro. Again, this particular tornado warning is a confirmed one, confirmed by emergency management. That's two in a row moving right through that area, back to back. I don't like that. So let's go back to our other tornado warned storm in Clay County. Looks like the worst of that particular storm. Again, this is just a radar indicated tornado warning, still nevertheless a strong storm. Looks like the worst of that is now east of Hayesville. Yes. Worst part of the rotation, radar rotation is now moving east down 64 east of Hayesville. So Cherokee had been lifted from that warning, but Clay County, North Carolina remains under that tornado warning. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings over Gilmer County. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Murray and Whitfield. Again, strong wind gust, heavy rain, large hail possible with those storms. The farther west you go, we have 2 tornado warnings. This one is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning near Henniger. This one approaching Jackson County, a confirmed tornado approaching the Jackson County line. That warning extends all the way to Scottsboro. That warning here is in effect until 11:45 Central, roughly the next 35 minutes. Let's take a look at both of these again from a velocity scan. So that's a well-developed storm there near Henniger. Again, this one has had a history of producing tornadic damage. When it was near Scottsboro and west of there, emergency management had confirmed a touchdown. In this case, it's still a radar-indicated tornado warning. That is right now near Henniger. So be in your safe place now in Henniger. Same thing near Valley Head. All right, this just updated. This is a tornado emergency in DeKalb County. You can see it right there in near Henniger. All right, this is just updated from the National Weather Service in Huntsville, okay? Tornado warning. At 11:08 Central Time, just moments ago, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located over Henniger, 9 miles north of Rainsville, moving east at 20 miles an hour. This is a tornado emergency for Henniger, Hammondville, and Mentone. You can see it, well-developed storm right there. This is a particularly dangerous situation. In these areas, seek shelter immediately. This is a tornado emergency. Let me zoom out so you can see these areas affected. This is a tornado emergency. At 11:08, moments ago, confirmed large destructive tornado was located over Henniger, 9 miles north of Rainsville, moving east at 20 miles an hour. This is one of those rare tornado emergencies. Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. Particularly dangerous situation, potential for damage. You need to be in your safe place immediately with this storm. I'll go over here to the controls and show you this this is well defined on the radar. Again, it was radar indicated before, but now this has been confirmed. Very high reflectivity in the velocity scan. Very dangerous storm, folks. Rarity that you get a tornado emergency. But be in your safe place now in this part of DeKalb County. It has moved out of Jackson County down to DeKalb County. This is near Henniger, eventually Mentone, Hammondville area. I'll read the text here one more time. That was near Sulphur Springs, Valley Head, Mentone, Hammondville. Repeating, this is a large, extremely dangerous and potential deadly tornado on the ground in this area right here. Hey, Alexa, can you press pause on that? Just press now, just so it's not looping. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's right here, just south of Henniger. It looks like we're in and around the Henniger area. Large, extremely dangerous, potentially deadly tornado on the ground in this part of DeKalb County. Take cover now. Again, move to the interior room, lowest level of your house, in a sturdy building. Be away from windows. Again, stay in that safe place till we give you the all clear here. This is a very particularly dangerous situation, a rare tornado emergency. This is a radar confirmed tornado here in DeKalb County, for east central DeKalb County. This is a confirmed large destructive tornado right over Henniger, moving to the east at around 20 miles an hour. It's 9 miles north of Rainsville, Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. You are in line this dangerous tornado. We're going to hold it here on this storm as it continues moving off to the east. We're going to zoom in and try to see a few more other communities here. Elliott Crossroads right there, around Alabama 40. and crossing near 75. That's Highway 75 in Alabama. Don't confuse that with Interstate 75. Again, Henniger right here. This is where that potential dangerous tornado is. In that part of DeKalb County, this is a tornado emergency for that county, for DeKalb. Again, I'm reading this one more time. This was issued moments ago. A tornado emergency for east central DeKalb County. Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. A confirmed large destructive tornado moments ago near Henniger, now moving just east of there. 9 miles north of Rainsville, moving east at 20 miles an hour. Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. Particularly dangerous situation as the storm continues moving off to the east. And this is a tornado emergency for this part of east central DeKalb County. Henniger, Elliott Crossroads. This area right along 75 and Highway Alabama 40 and Alabama 75. It looks to be just past that intersection there. Now moving right along Alabama Highway 40. This is moving to the east at 20. I'll put a tracker on that for you. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. I apologize about that. Help speed this up so we can get this tracker on there. Got to get the correct forward speed on that. Get heads up for you folks in Dade and Walker. With this type of situation here, notice Townsend Crossroads, that's going to be about 27 minutes after the hour. Bethel around 44 minutes after the hour. About the next 30 minutes, Head River, potentially, if this storm holds together, it could move into southern Dade County before the top of the hour, before 1 a.m. Again, this is a really particularly dangerous situation for DeKalb County, Alabama. This is the reflectivity scan. Heavy rain, lots of lightning. It's very noisy out there, but within that cell, as you can see right here, this is a confirmed tornado right between Townsend Crossroads, near Stamp, near Council Bluff, just east of Henniger. You can see that storm made its way through. This is confirmed tornado emergency for Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. Here's Council Bluff, also near Valley Head. Be aware of that storm. This is a radar confirmed tornado. This is a life-threatening situation in these areas. A rare tornado emergency. Also on the western edge of Jackson County, update you on this. This was a confirmed tornado as well. It was north of Gurley. You can see it right here, just to the west of Pleasant Groves. Tornado warning with that storm until 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. So please keep that in mind for western Jackson County. Scottsboro, you're under that warning. It could be near you by the bottom of the half hour. So we'll continue watching that storm. This one, again, has the tornado emergency with it. This is a rare, what we call tornado emergency. Confirmed tornado now east of Henniger. Looks to be right along. This is Alabama 40, just west of Alabama 75. Here's 59. So it could be very close to the 59 corridor in the next few minutes, moving closer to Valley Head, eventually toward Mentone. Yeah, this is a tornado emergency issued by the National Weather Service in Huntsville for Henniger, Hammondville, Mentone. This is a really particularly dangerous situation. Areas could be impacted: Sulphur Springs, Valley Head, Mentone, Hammondville, moving east at 20. There you can see the circulation, the radar. This was a confirmed tornado. Life-threatening situation here, folks. Please get to your safe place immediately. Stay there till we give you the all clear. If you have friends or relatives in this area unsure that they're getting the warning, give them a call. Be our backup system. We'll let them know. Very concerning for this cell right there. And you can see as that moved past Henniger, just right along 40, is still almost right along 40, Alabama Highway 40 at the moment. Here's 59, approaching near Interstate 59. Looks like it'll pass near Valley Head. And of course, Mentone, just up on lookout above Valley Head. Very hilly terrain through here, but that doesn't matter. This is a very dangerous situation there. This is a tornado emergency that was issued about 10 minutes ago for this part of DeKalb County under this tornado warning until 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. I'll keep repeating this information because I want folks to understand the severity of this storm. There are other storms ongoing, severe thunderstorms at the moment. This one is the one with the tornado emergency, which we're holding on. We're going to hold here so everybody knows exactly where it is, where it's moving, and what areas are impacted. It's rare when you get one of these tornado emergencies issued. Very concerned for this area of DeKalb County. That appears to be near Council Bluff, near where Alabama 40 crosses I-59, just south of Townsend Crossroads, just south of the Rogers community. And if you can hear me, this is a tornado warning, a tornado emergency for East Central DeKalb County. That includes Valley Head to Mentone. And this is moving rapidly to the east at around 20 miles an hour. And I just wanted to let you know, let me expand out a little bit farther. The way this keeps moving east, everybody, again, it's been the same area repeated throughout the night. Southern Dade, Southern Walker, Chattooga. Keep in mind, this is upstream moving eastward. Again, this is a tornado emergency near Valley Head. It has moved just near Henniger. It is now near Valley Head, Council Bluff area, Valley Head, moving to the east at 20. Getting close to the I-59 corridor where it may cross the interstate. Mentone is on the mountain above Valley Head. So you're now into the valley in between Sand Mountain and Lookout Mountain. So right here. US 11 parallels it. The Birmingham Highway parallels that. Again, this is a tornado emergency for East Central DeKalb County in Alabama. Seven more minutes on this tornado warning, but very concerned that, again, we'll watch this for Valley Head and Mentone, but concerned about Southern Dade and Walker and Chattooga as this continues moving east. This is a very well-developed storm. This has been a confirmed tornado. It was radar indicated for a while. It had a confirmed tornado with it and confirmed damage near Scottsboro, confirmed tornado there. And then it became radar indicated, and then right as it was over Henniger, that's right when they issued the tornado emergency, where it was confirmed tornado. They confirmed large destructive tornado. You can still see from a velocity scan point of view, still has that potential there. Again, folks, a particularly dangerous situation. Please stay in a safe place. Valley Head to Mentone and these areas right along I-59 until we give you the all clear. This looks to be north of, just near Valley Head, near Council Bluff, just south of Townsend Crossroads. So it's right along where Alabama 40, Interstate 59, US 11 intersect. 11 parallels 59 right there in that part of DeKalb County. Put this into motion. Continue seeing the movement over the past hour where it moved from Henniger eastward, now near Council Bluff, and about to cross the interstate. Meteorologist Lexi Horvath is with me, and Lexi, these are situations you don't see every day. You know, we get the radar indicated tornadoes, but when you deal with a tornado emergency like this is a rarity, and I don't like to see them.
No,
not at all. This is just the heart goes out to those that are there in that area. I've got relatives in Fort Payne. I've got relatives in Rainsville, so concerned for them. But I know that at least this particular storm is just kind of north of them, but still.
It's the timing.
It's the timing.
Timing right now.
It's at night. Yeah, if you know people in this area, please give them a call. Give them the heads up from Valley Head to Mentone for this storm moving in. And even as I zoom out, we got to keep in mind that downstream, Dade and Walker County, be aware this is coming your way eastward if this holds together. You can still see the circulation or radar indicated rotation there. This warning will continue for the next 5 minutes.
How fast is it moving?
Moving east at 20. It's a pretty fast mover there. It'll expire in about 4 minutes here, the warning, but it's still over that area. Yeah, let's zoom in on that. It's a bit broader in rotation there, but still, nevertheless, it's still showing that classic sign there, right between Valley Head and Council Bluff. So it's right along, it looks to be right on the 59 corridor, right there. So Valley Head is over the Valley Head area. Then you go up Lookout Mountain to Mentone right here. And then I keep zooming out because the state line's coming up. And that state line is Dade Walker. And Lexi, last night, this same area had tornado warnings with it. And here we go again in the exact same area. This even has storms tonight. This will be round 3 in those areas.
Yep, that's where I was earlier. At the
yeah, that's right.
shelter.
You're at the shelter in Dade County. That's right. Mm-hmm. You were in Trenton, is that right? Is that where you were in the Trenton area, or were you?
South Dade.
South Dade. Okay. So I'm sure they've had some folks there in the shelter. I'm sure folks came from DeKalb County to the shelter. I don't blame them. That was a very nice shelter they had there.
People from across other states coming in.
I don't doubt it. And that was a nice shelter that they have there. So it's very nice, very nice. And it's serving its purpose tonight.
Yeah, they had people last night. They were expecting more than double tonight.
And there you can see right here. It's right on 59 and now on 11. I'm a little bit zoomed in too far, but you can see right near Valley Head is right here. It's a beautiful area right there. Mentone, as you go up Lookout, so you're about to go up some terrain here. As I mentioned before, when you go up even a 2,000 feet in elevation, Lookout Mountain, you can still get some upslope flow, which sometimes can intensify rotation. Well, that's an if. We'll have to see if that actually occurs there. That warning will expire in a few moments, but it's still a threat for that east part of DeKalb County.
Now, who should be on the lookout?
Yeah, I would say Dade and Walker eventually. Okay, here's an update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Warning for east central DeKalb County will expire at 11:30 Central. The tornado warning that was previously in effect has been reissued for DeKalb County. Is in effect till 11:45.
All right.
Okay, so just keep in mind what they're doing is they're canceling the western part of that warning. Okay, but the area that we're seeing right here is still under tornado warning. Let me repeat that again. I was reading it verbatim here. The area west in DeKalb County from Henniger is out. That's no longer in effect. Now it's squarely focused on this remaining part of DeKalb County within the storm. So it is still, and it's been extended until 11:45 Central, and for obvious reasons. This was a tornado emergency. We're going to assume the same thing. They've not changed their verbiage with this. So we're assuming still the tornado emergency. Tornado near Valley Head, approaching the Lookout Mountain area, and let's see, moving into North Georgia, and here we go. All right, just issued. Tornado warning now for northwestern Chattooga, southwestern Walker. And we were just talking about it. I don't see Dade issued in there. It's close to the southern tip of Dade. Let me show you the outline of this. This is a new tornado warning because of this storm right here. Heads up for you folks in parts from Somerville to Tryon to Walnut Grove in Walker County. This is a new tornado warning for Chattooga and Walker County. It's not all of Walker. Let me be more specific. This is southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga County. Okay, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Hammondville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. See it just north of Valley Head there near Hammondville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Again, seek shelter immediately in these areas, these part of southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga County, Somerville, Tryon, Center Post, Cloudland. Seek shelter immediately. Again, this is a tornado warning, confirmed large tornado, and I'll show you in the velocity scan for Chattooga and southwestern Walker till 1:15 Eastern Time. Now this warning remains in effect as it's over this part of Alabama in DeKalb County near Valley Head to Hammondville for the next 15 minutes. This is a confirmed tornado. We continue to assume that because it was before. Near Valley Head to Hammondville here as it moves to the east. Be aware also the far southern tip of Dade County. But the warning polygon that's just been issued as it crosses the Georgia state line is for this part of southern Walker County and northwestern Chattooga County, a confirmed tornado. This is a very dangerous situation in this area. Southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga County. That is moving to the east. Let me read that to you one more time. That is moving to the east at 30 miles an hour. This is a radar confirmed tornado. It's been confirmed over DeKalb County, as I've been mentioning for the past over half hour now, and now moving into southwestern parts of Walker. Not all of Walker County. This is all going to be south of Lafayette. For the areas near Walnut Grove, Hawkins, Chelsea, eventually towards Tryon, and near Somerville. This is the outline of that new tornado warning. That is going to be out until 1:15 Eastern Time. Wake folks up if they're in this area. Give them a call. If you don't think they have a way of getting an alert, give them a phone call. In this part of southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga, this is a very, very, very dangerous situation with a confirmed tornado in this area. It's been confirmed since near Henniger and moved across DeKalb County. We'll have to, we'll be checking on any damage in these areas, but we do know radar confirmed tornado here. Somerville, Tryon, Center Post, Cloudland, all in the path of this storm. This is a particularly dangerous situation. You need to get to your safe place immediately. Do not be sitting around looking for this storm. I don't want you doing that. That's my job. I'll be looking at it and letting you know about that, okay? But there's where the storm is, approaching the state line at the moment. I believe that's just north of Mentone. I believe. Yeah. Just north of Mentone. It's now east of I-59. It's now, looks like in the Lookout Mountain area, Lookout Mountain portion of DeKalb County. And moving east. So still be aware if you happen to live right in that southern tip of Dade, way south of Rising Fawn, right before you cross the state line on Lookout Mountain, there's a lot of different smaller communities up there. Be aware of that this storm is close to you, but this is a confirmed tornado that is moving into southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga County. Very dangerous situation in this area. I cannot stress it enough.
We're getting a lot of lightning reports in Dalton.
In Dalton? Okay. Yep. Let me pause on this storm for a second. We got to go back to the west because that storm, this other tornado warned storm near Scottsboro, it's the problem. When you got so many multiple storms, it's so hard to have to move away from a certain area. But we have to do that so everybody's notified. You can see now that this is still a radar indicated tornado warning. Again, this one's a little different from the warning that is over eastern DeKalb at the moment. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. At the very least, could be producing ping pong size hail in Scottsboro and in around Scottsboro. And like the previous cell that's moving right along 35, Larkinsville to Scottsboro. So again, this is radar indicated rotation. It might produce a tornado. That's why they got the tornado warning there. That's still out until 11:45 East Central, the next 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes for Scottsboro, so heads up, stay in your safe place, and we'll keep you updated on that storm in Scottsboro. Again, tornado warning continues in Scottsboro and that part of Jackson County till 11:45 Central. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado, possible ping pong size hail, and again, the potential of tornado. At the very least, very strong wind gusts with that storm. This one might get extended as it holds together. This is the one where we have a confirmed, well, they just extended that warning. They just extended that warning. So now with that storm near Scottsboro, let me read you the update of this, okay? This is a tornado warning for central Jackson, central DeKalb. This is not the same one that's near Valley Head. This is a different one. This is in effect for the next over a half hour till 12:15 a.m. Central. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, as we just showed you, near Scottsboro, moving east at 30. So this is Doppler radar indicated rotation. So again, it's a radar indicated tornado warning, meaning that it could produce a tornado at any given time, but at the very least provides strong wind gusts, ping pong size hail. Areas in the way of this, eventually right now Scottsboro, then to Hollywood, Section, Sylvania, and Hittiger. Again, repeating these same areas that just had a strong storm move over you an hour ago, another one with a potential moving over you again. Scottsboro, Hollywood around 11:40 Central, Section 11:45 Central, Sylvania 11:55 Central, Hittiger around midnight Central. That's a new tornado warning out till 12:15 a.m. Central Time. Now let's go over to this storm. This is the confirmed one. Right now, that is right over the state line. At least where we're seeing the Doppler radar rotation. Right over the far southwestern corner of Walker County, even including a small portion of Dade and into that northwestern part of Chattooga County. Okay, this warning is out till 1:15 Eastern Time. Again, this is out for northwestern Chattooga and southwestern Walker to 1:15. Again, a confirmed large tornado as of 12:26 Eastern. A large, extremely dangerous tornado that moved away from Hammondville, now near the state line, moving east around 30 miles an hour. Can't stress this enough. This is a particularly dangerous situation. In these areas like Somerville, Tryon, Center Post, Cloudland, you need to be in your safe place now. Do not wait. Again, this warning in effect for roughly the next 35 minutes. Again, you can see the radar indicated rotation where the tornado could be. It's right now over that far southwestern corner of Walker County. This will probably stay south of Lafayette. But Walnut Grove, Center Post, Tryon, you're going to be in line of that storm. Let me zoom in just a little bit closer. See a few more communities there. Here's Georgia 157. Again, that's near that Mountain Cove Farm area up on Lookout. Maybe just a little bit west of there. And now east of Valley Head, again crossing the state line, is on the Lookout Mountain portion of this state line region. Again, this is a tornado warning for a confirmed tornado with this cell moving through southwestern Walker and eventually northwestern Chattooga. Also, right behind that, again, we want to keep everybody updated on these two tornado warnings. Right behind that is another tornado warning storm near Scottsboro. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. So this warning is out until 12:15 Central, 1:15 Eastern. So Henniger, Hollywood, Scottsboro, Sylvania, all in line for that storm. Okay, we'll look at the velocity scan with that one. And you do see some rotation noted near Scottsboro. This is radar indicated rotation, moving right over the same area they had this tornado warned storm an hour ago. So folks like Henniger, Valley Head, Pisgah, again, within the hour, you've got this next storm coming your way. Goodness. These are situations you have to keep repeating this over and over, but I can't stress how dangerous this situation is. Can't stress enough. North of this area, just want to show you there are numerous showers and storms. At the moment, no warnings. Again, a lot of energy has been spent in the atmosphere, but we've got to keep an eye on all these from Crossville in and around and just west of the plateau. So flash flooding is going to become a problem throughout the night as well. But the ongoing situation, I'm staying on these storms. We have severe thunderstorm warnings out for Murray, Gilmer County. As storms roll by between Chatsworth, it's actually south of Chatsworth to around Ellijay. But we're kind of staying focused on the priority at the moment. The tornado warning for the confirmed tornado now moving to the southwestern part of Walker County and right along the Chattooga Walker County line.
I'm getting a lot of questions about Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Can you say to people who live there?
I would say Chattanooga at the moment, we're okay at the moment. Are we done for the night? No.
No.
We're not done for the night. And so we still need to stay weather alert. Hamilton County, Chattanooga is still under that tornado watch till 11:40. Excuse me, what am I saying?
No,
4 a.m. I was looking at the expiration of the tornado warning. I've got so many numbers going from 4 a.m. My bad. Till 4 a.m. that tornado watch. So yeah, in Hamilton County we're not in the clear yet, and I'm concerned more and more as these storms continue. A flash flood risk is going to be a big problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my apologies on the time confusion there. This is where that tornado could be here in southwestern Walker County. Again, the warning still includes northwestern Chattooga as well. So we're watching that, and this shows you kind of the movement. It is moving more to the east. That's been the projected, and it's still in that little southern tip of Dade was kind of in that kind of rotation as well. Now moving east of Mentone, away from Valley Head, away from Henniger. So those areas is squarely just almost all in Georgia now. But that tornado warning out to 1:15. 1:15. Let me see if there's been an update on that situation. Yep. Here we go. Tornado warning remains in effect for southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga counties. This is from the National Weather Service in Peachtree City. Just a few moments ago, 3 minutes ago, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located just northeast of Mentone. You can see it right there. Or about 12 miles northwest of Somerville, moving east now at 25 miles an hour. This is now radar indicated tornado. Again, unlike before where they had tornado confirmed, this is now, they've updated the language a little bit, radar indicated. So still stay in your safe place because still this could still produce that. Hazard expected with this tornado and $half size hail. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. Tryon, center post, be aware of this as it draws closer to you. You're within this tornado polygon until 1:15 Eastern time. So let me update you again. This is an update on the tornado warning that I've got circled here for southwestern Walker, northwestern Chattooga County. Just a few moments ago, this tornado capable of producing a tornado located just northeast of Mentone, moving east at 25 miles an hour. It could produce a tornado, but also $half size hail. It's also producing a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. So again, unlike the previous language where it was confirmed, and it had been confirmed in DeKalb County, this is now radar indicated. So we'll continue to hold that threat level, know that a tornado could occur with this storm. It's radar indicated at the moment, moving eastward. So center post and Tryon, stay in your safe shelter. If you know people in this area where this storm is moving through, from center post, even Walnut Grove to Tryon, wake them up, let them know that storm is headed their way. Just make sure they're in a safe place and that they're alerted, okay? That's what we're here for tonight. And there you can see the outline of that polygon. This is about to expire here. But right on its heels, you can't even breathe a sigh of relief toward Henniger or Mentone. You've got another one inbound. Another tornado warned storm inbound. Again, this warning out till 1:15 as well, the next 30 minutes. And we'll put the velocity scan on this one. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning as well. Not quite as pronounced as the previous one, but you can see just to the east of Scottsboro, near Hollywood and Scottsboro, right through here. So moving just east of Highway 72 and right almost along Highway 40 again. So please keep in mind, for you folks who've been in your safe place, maybe you've breathed a sigh of relief. Well, Henniger, Pisgah, Dutton, north of Section, you got another tornado warning over you for the next 30 minutes, a tornado warned storm. Again, this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warned storm. A little bit farther north again, all of our area in southeast Tennessee remains under tornado watch till 4 a.m. We're still watching these large clusters of storms here. At the moment, yeah, you don't notice any warnings with them, and that's always a good thing. The first storms have used a lot of energy, but the atmosphere can still recover. But with so much more heavy rain coming in, we have to be worried about not only severity of storms, but also a flash flooding threat. Also, again, in southern Murray, Gilmer County, this is a severe warned storm. That warning for you remains in effect until 1 a.m., the next 15 minutes. Again, wind gusts upwards of 70 and quarter-size hail possible, which can do a lot of damage. We've been keeping priority on these tornado warnings, so I apologize if I don't want to leave anybody out, but if you feel left out, that's why I've been trying to periodically show you some areas. Lexi, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going through social posts, comments, seeing what everyone's wondering. A lot of people right now are asking about future track. What can we expect looking ahead? Next few hours, can they go to sleep? Should they stay awake? What should people be worried about? Here's what I would do. Again, if you're worried about sleep, have a couple of devices that can get you alerts, whether it's your mobile phone or no alert radio. Make sure the alerts are turned all the way up. In other words, make sure that tone can wake you up, okay? So by doing so, you can get some rest. If you're in an area now that we're in the clear, you can get some rest, but be aware that all of our viewing areas are under a tornado watch till 4 a.m. And we'll show some future tracks once the tornado threats or these tornado warnings expire. But at the moment, I can't move away from a future track because we've got an ongoing life-threatening situation. But just keep in mind, we do know that tornado watch is still in effect at 4 a.m. We do know there are more storms coming in from the west, which at the time along the plateau aren't severe at the moment. But if you do want to try to get some shut-eye, and I understand totally, it's a work night, school night, keep your alert tones turned way up and just stay advised that way. And we're still going to be here tracking.
Or be like, I know my wife is. She's asleep on the couch or trying to with the TV turned way up.
Listening to your voice.
Yeah, listening to me. She knows if I give her a call. Again, folks, and just keep in mind, this is the tornado warning storm. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. That southwestern part of Walker County, that is where it is, potentially. We've been watching this roll through that part of Chattooga County. Yeah, let me switch mics here. There we go. All right. We're doing a little microphone switch here. So I've got it zoomed in on that tornado warning there for southwestern Walker County, Center Post, Walnut Grove. Again, let's stay in our safe place. This is out until, I believe it was still 1:15 Eastern time. Till 1:15. No, excuse me, till 1 a.m. That storm just southwest of Lafayette. Let's keep an eye on that as it kind of straddles outside that polygon just a little bit. So let's keep an eye on that for southwestern Walker. Again, we make the man-made polygon, so we can't control the movement of a storm. So National Weather Service does a great job with these warnings, outlining specifically. And then sometimes they kind of stray right along those boundaries. But keep in mind in Lafayette, as that moves to the east, you're going to be getting some rain and lightning with that. And it's kind of having more of an easterly, kind of tightening up a little bit, moving more east and more rapidly, and kind of staying a little bit more out of Chattooga compared to more so in Walker County. But still, nevertheless, trying to north of Somerville. You're still under this warning. Let's respect that polygon and stay in your safe place until this expires. But as you can see, this is a reflectivity point of view. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, a lot of heavy rain. And again, if I pause it, we're still seeing radar rotation. There it is, southwestern part of Walker County. The reason why that warning remains in effect, right there.
We're getting a lot of questions on the tornado emergency updates.
Yes, the tornado emergency that was out for DeKalb County has expired on that one. Okay, that was a tornado emergency. The tornado now is a radar indicated tornado warning for southwestern Walker County. The emergency that we did have, we're still awaiting any updates, any damage in those areas. We've not heard that yet, although in the newsroom they're keeping track of that. As I'm tracking the storms, they'll be tracking if there's any damage with that. But it's kind of hard to assess that because these folks are having to deal with a second inbound storm coming in. So a lot of people are having to stay in their safe place. This is the other tornado warned storm that is west of Pisgah. Let me pause this a second. And let's put the velocity scan. You can see it now west of Pisgah there. And let me zoom out just a little bit with that, just a little bit. This is more broad rotation with that. Pisgah to section.
All right, David, I'm going to let you drink some water. I'll update.
Sure, go ahead.
Chatsworth saying people are saying it's calm again. A little bit of thunder, calming down in Fort Oglethorpe, and some thunder in South Pittsburgh. That's from all of our eyes out there.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Everybody's a part of the team tonight. Everybody is. Your eyes and ears on the ground. I'm watching it electronically. You guys are within it and watching it. So I appreciate everybody chiming in here. I appreciate everybody's patience tonight. I know that we've had to go over programming. I understand that. And I know that can be a frustration if the storm's not impacting where you are. But we've had so many warnings. We've also had the hopscotch around the viewing area, having to keep tornado warnings at top priority. So maybe that severe thunderstorm didn't get as much coverage as the tornado warning. And that's kind of how it goes. And I hate that because I hate having anybody left out in any of these warnings in the coverage. So, again, I just understand what I have to deal with here. 23 local counties, and sometimes having 3 or 4 tornado warnings at once can be make you busy. But that's what we're here for. That's what I signed up for as part of the job. You can see in your section, trying to point out where that Doppler radar indicated rotation is here, keeping that tornado warning in effect till 1:15 in this part of Jackson. I believe it's part of DeKalb as well. So Henniger, Hollywood, I believe it's now east of Scottsboro. near Sylvania. That tornado warning stays in effect until 12:15. Again, this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warning, unlike the tornado emergency before. So still don't let down your guard. But again, this is a radar indicated one. Again, let's go back to southwestern Walker. Let's get an update on this one. I believe they just provided an update on it. You can clearly see the radar rotation here, just west of Walnut Grove. I believe they just put out an update on this one. Yeah, okay. Tornado warning remains in effect for southwestern Walker, north central Chattooga County. All right, just moments ago, this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located just west of Center Post, or about 9 miles southwest of Lafayette, moving east at 30. Again, here's Lafayette. It is just southwest of you, but the movement is to the east. So it's going to move probably just south of Lafayette. But I know for a lot of people who may live just south of Lafayette proper, you consider yourself Lafayette. So if you live south of Lafayette or South Lafayette area, you're close enough. Okay? Again, this is Doppler radar indicated rotation. Unlike before where there was a confirmation of tornado, this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. So again, Tryon, Center Post, be aware of this. As this moves east, this warning remains in effect until 1:15, the next 20 minutes. This is the latest update for the National Weather Service, Peachtree City. Storm located just west of Center Post, 9 miles southwest of Lafayette. Lafayette's right here. The radar indicated rotation is right here, moving to the east. So that's where you could have a potential tornado with that. So let's stay in our safe place until we get the all clear in that part of Walker and Chattooga County. Now, please bear in mind, if that rotation holds together, I would imagine that the same area they've already had storms roll by, the other southern half of Walker near Villa now, and maybe even southern Whitfield, with time, warnings and advisory may get extended, okay? Please keep that in mind. Let's go back to this cell here. Again, this was a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning as well. This is a little bit more broad rotation than previous warnings. So let's get you the update. Here's the update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville on this storm. Let me pause it here so you can see exactly where the storm is at the moment as I read you their update. They updated this just moments ago. So severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Hollywood. And I'll show you the velocity scan as you read this. You can see how it just passed. There it is, just past Hollywood. Very broad rotation here. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. Still moving east at 30 miles an hour. So the tornado warning remains in effect till 12:15 Central for southeastern Jackson and central DeKalb County. Again, tornado risk with this. Ping pong ball size hail possible with this as it moves to the east. So please be aware in these areas. Please stay in your safe place. Dutton, Rosalie, Pisgah. Could be around Sylvania and Pisgah right at about midnight central. Kind of right over those areas now. See how this is more elongated? This is a very broad circulation, unlike those tighter circulations than before. Pisgah, Rosalie, Dutton, right through here. So to midnight, and then Henniger around 12:05, just after midnight. So this is still that Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. Looks like it's moved now east of Scottsboro and east of Hollywood. So I hope everybody's okay in Hollywood. I hope everybody's okay in Scottsboro. But keep in mind, Henniger and eventually Valley Head, Eider, you got another inbound storm with tornado potential. This is a radar indicated tornado warning, but we'll continue to watch that carefully. Now again, through 1:15 a.m., this remains in effect for southwestern Walker County.
And just to show you, that is southwest of Lafayette by about, you can't see, it's outside the range. I'll show you real quickly. Can't do 2 layers at once, but anyway, about 6, 7 miles southwest of Lafayette. But the movement, it's not moving that way. Now the movement is this way. I was just giving you a direction how far it is away. So there's a radar indicated rotation. If there was a tornado, possibly that's about where it would be. Just south and west of Walnut Grove, near Center Post, and just a little north of Tryon, right along the Chattooga-Walker County line. So when you look at a velocity scan, we're looking at the winds inside the storm. And again, it just doesn't want to pause on me, does it? There we go. And again, where we're watching is right in here. Right in there. And that is moving to the east.
How fast?
That movement, I believe, is at 25 miles an hour. I'll double check. No, east at 30. So I'll tell you what, I'm glad you asked that question, Lexi, because we see where this ends in about 15 minutes, this warning, but I know a lot of folks are going, well, where's it going next? And because we got to be aware of the remaining part of southern Walker and a few spots here into Whitfield County. So we have this moving east at 30. This is all hypothetical. If it holds together, this is where it can move through. So during the 1 o'clock hour, Walnut Grove now. Eastern Murchie around 120, Villanelle 124, Resaca 141. That would take it into north. That would be into Gordon County. So again, be aware southeastern Walker, be aware northern Gordon, be aware southern Walker, or excuse me, southern Whitfield and southern Murray, because this would be the path this radar indicated tornado warning would take. That would be maybe where it moves next. So there could be an extension of at least a severe thunderstorm warning, or if the rotation holds, they may extend that warning with time. But that will be coming up shortly. Again, to show you elsewhere around the viewing area, a lot of the area is warning free at the moment. Okay, that's a good thing. Now, there are still ongoing storms across the northern part of our viewing area, Spring City, Pikeville. These are below severe levels. They're noisy, but at the moment, below severe levels. The atmosphere has been a little spent from the previous storms, but still, we have to run the risk of a flooding threat overnight. Same thing along the plateau, Manchester to Montego. You're going to have some storms coming your way. Little advisory noted there, so below severe wind gusts there from Montego to Suwannee, northern Franklin County. So it's going to get a little loud out there. Loud in other spots, but the two warnings locally at the moment remain these Doppler radar indicated tornado warnings over Walker, Chattooga until 1:15. That's right over Walnut Grove. You can see the rotation there. It is moving to the east. And the radar indicated warning, which is now from Pisgah to Henniger, this one is more of a broad rotation. Actually from Pisgah to Henniger. You can see it. You can first see in this 1 hour loop where the previous rotation rolled by. That was where it was confirmed. This is a little bit more broader in nature, but nevertheless possesses the possibility and potential of a tornado. So this is a radar indicated tornado warning for this part of Jackson County. And this stays in effect till 1:15 Eastern, 12:15 Central Time. It is past Scottsboro. That's good. And let me show also near Scottsboro, we're getting a break upstream. Okay, look back here. Things are improving. That's good. So we're going to get a little bit of a break for that part of northeast Alabama. Let me show one other radar view. I'm looking for our storm reports here.
also getting reports of loss of power as well
Okay.
as flooding outside.
Yep. Hey, check the EPB website. You just see if we have the EPB and then Volunteer Electric will give us an idea on some of that. Here's some of the storm reports so far, and ignore what says Tuesday evening. Yeah, let me take that off. I don't want any confusion at all. I'd had this graphic made yesterday, or excuse me, Tuesday, so.
25 incidents, 136 customers affected.
So there we go. So we've had reports. Let's see if some wind damage there in Catoosa County. Let's check that out. Trees down near Blue Spring, Catoosa County. We've had reports. Let's check this out. Rocky Face, vehicle overturned. That was flash flooding. So we've had reports of that. Parts of Whitfield County, we've had some tree down on a structure near Varnell. Let's check out this part. We've had 1 inch diameter hail in Rising Fawn. South Pittsburgh, we've had 1 inch diameter hail in South Pittsburgh and Marion County. Still awaiting any damage reports from these areas where we've had the tornadoes move by, but this just gives you an idea of where we've had some damage reports. I'll show this near McMinn County. We've had reports of a tree down around 1010, close to Athens. Thunderstorm wind damage. Trees down there. A lot of hail reports and wind damage reports. All right, let's go back to the radar. I don't want to leave the radar. I don't like leaving the radar with 2 ongoing warnings here. All right, we're waiting to see as this moves out of the warning polygon if they're going to extend this into a larger part of southern Walker. All right, there we go. That rotating part of the storm is just south of Lafayette, crossing Highway 27. So it's about to move out of that polygon. Let's see if there's any extension to a warning there. We'll see what they say. But you can see clearly where that rotating was, the reason why a tornado warning was issued. It's now more in Walker, but it does extend a little bit down into northern Chattooga. Okay, we'll watch that polygon. And we're watching this one, which is right now the worst part of this storm, at least the potential rotation is right here on the DeKalb Jackson line. Right along Highway 40 again. And this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. I'll see if they've refreshed any update on that. This expires in about 8 minutes. It's more of a broader circulation with that. But nevertheless, a tornado warning is a tornado warning. And I want people to stay safe. And if you're within this polygon, Henniger, Sylvania, Pisgah, although I think it's moving now more east to Pisgah, you still got a lot of lightning around. Let's stay in the safe place, stay where you are, stay put till we get the clear out of that county. Here we go. All right, they have updated this to a severe thunderstorm warning, okay, for southern Walker. Let me get this correct here. South central Whitfield, southeastern Walker, northwestern Gordon. Remember we tracked that storm all the way to Resaca? Well, this is actually where they pretty much put up a severe thunderstorm warning polygon. So again, the severe thunderstorm located near Center Post, moving east at 30 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour wind gust, and penny-sized hail with that storm. So again, momentarily, this tornado warning will expire, but let me just explain. I've said this often tonight. You got to treat a severe thunderstorm warning as you would a tornado warning, especially when you got some rotation showing up. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. Well, with this rotation here, keep in mind that remaining part of southern Walker, as they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning, at the very least, it could cause structural damage with wind gusts, and at any given moment may be upgraded. So we need to watch this rotation as it moves through that southern part of the county, and eventually Whitfield and northern Gordon, okay? So we're going to keep an eye on that. But again,
This polygon for the tornado warning will expire in 5 minutes. And the extension of this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me zoom out so you can see the whole extent of that for South Central Whitfield, Southeastern Walker, Northwestern Gordon to 1:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, threat level, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, penny-size hail. And again, likewise, this warning expires in 15 minutes. We'll see again if they extend this warning out. Oh, and they just did. I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just said that. Well, again, this is a tornado warning, Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. This is the update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville for east central DeKalb County. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Henniger, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Again, this is a Doppler radar, again, radar indicated tornado, moving east at 30. A possible tornado and ping pong ball size hail with this storm. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. This is a little different than an hour ago with the tornado emergency, but nevertheless, you gotta stay in your safe place and respect it as you would the emergency. Even though it's a Doppler radar indicated warning, it's a tornado warning. You gotta get and stay in a safe place. These are issued a lot of times proactively because they can quickly form into a tornado. But you can see that rotation still noted right there. I'll point it out, right there, in and around Henniger, moving to the east at about 30. So, communities in line with this, you've heard me state your name so many times this evening. Valley Head, Mentone, Hammondville, and eventually the Lookout Mountain area, DeSoto State Park, as it moves eastward. I mean, that's still some good rotation noted on the radar. So again, that warning is out. I didn't say the time, out till 1 a.m. Central, 2 a.m. Eastern. That's that new warning. DeKalb County, East Central DeKalb County more specifically, that rotating part of the storm near Henniger, potential for a tornado. That is out until 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Central. Right now, the current time is 1:10 a.m. Eastern Time. We started our coverage, our live coverage about 4 hours ago, just after 8 o'clock. It's been a long night.
This is not it. What is to come after this?
Yeah, and let's take a look around. Again, we're going to stay on these storms and keep you updated, but heads up Henniger to Valley Head with that tornado warning. So Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. And we'll watch that storm in southern Walker. I'm still concerned if there's any upgrade of that warning. Let's zoom out a little bit. And again, we're watching these large clusters of storms here. Nashville to Columbia, all the way to Knoxville, around the I-40 corridor. The previous line of storms used up a lot of energy in the atmosphere. That's a good thing. But these continue to get a little strong. There are no advisories or warnings with it, which is good. But we still have, if you look north and west, there's still a line up here that's pretty strong. And it's moving east and slightly southeast. So we've got all this to continue moving on through. This is all in advance of a cold front. The front itself won't move by till Thursday afternoon, but the threat level for us will last until after sunrise. Let me check on here, updates from the Storm Prediction Center, and we'll check their discussions here. So the area I just circled, here, where these storms are forming from I-40 and south, from the Storm Prediction Center, again, the threat of severe storms continues. Severe storms, isolated tornado threat continues, okay? Latest radar loop shows these bands of strong locally severe storms extending from central Arkansas eastward into Tennessee. Still a very favorable atmosphere that could keep an ongoing severe risk. So with that in mind, we gotta watch these cells moving in. Again, at the very least, it's gonna be more heavy rain and a flooding threat. We also gotta be mindful of a severe storm threat and some gusty winds. So the severe threat is ongoing. That's the latest word from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, I'll point this out. All areas locally still under this tornado watch until 4 a.m. So there you go. So we're not out of the woods by a long shot. That's still 3 more hours of that watch in effect. Yeah, I believe there is a storm advisory here for northern Franklin. Wind gusts up to 40 possible with that line of storms rolling in.
Can you do a wide coverage around our viewing area?
Yeah, sure. Let me show these tornado warned storms one more time. Again, that tornado warning about this polygon here, that was a tornado warning here, about to expire. This is where a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. But keep in mind, there's still some rotation noted on the radar, right between Lafayette and Villanelle. So this is still a pretty strong storm. So we're going to continue watching that very carefully. It is a severe thunderstorm warning now for this southern part. Yes, we know it's 1:10 a.m. Thank you, computer. Gordon, Walker, Whitfield until 1:45 Eastern. Severe thunderstorm warning. Wind gusts to 60 and penny-sized hail, along with heavy rain and lightning. And then, of course, the extension of the tornado warning now for east central DeKalb County. This is a radar. Both of these, this one's a radar indicated tornado warning. It's unlike the tornado emergency that we had about an hour ago, but nevertheless, you've got to respect that and seek shelter. The rotation within this storm, you can see it moving right between Valley Head and Henniger. Right in here, just west of Valley Head. So again, that's moving east at around 35 miles an hour. We'll keep an eye on that. But again, for that part of DeKalb County, from coming off Sand Mountain into the valley to the Lookout Mountain portion, that tornado warning remains in effect until, what's the expiration time on that? 45 more minutes. And then, of course, we got to watch that for southern Dade, southern Walker again. All right, overview of the entire viewing area again. We got storms on the northern half of our viewing area for you folks in northern Meigs, Spring City, Decatur, 10 Mile, Sweetwater. It's noisy, but it's below severe levels. Let's hope it stays that way. Don't tell the atmosphere. But Van Buren, a little rough there with some heavy rain, perhaps some gusty winds. Yeah, there's some wind gusts there. There's some wind gusts there, approaching Fall Creek Falls in Bledsoe County, coming out of Van Buren County. So that's got some strong wind gusts with it. There's no advisory with it, but just be aware of that. From just east of Spencer, from Pikeville to south of Crossville. Rain, occasional loud claps of thunder in Tracy City to Mont Eagle. And again, from Manchester and these areas right along 24 and west, getting a little noisy, but still below severe levels, Estill Springs to Lynchburg. Farther south, you know, we had that train of continuous supercells that moved from Huntsville. Upstream, we're getting a little bit of a break. That's good. Then we could use a break because parts of Jackson and DeKalb County, we've had 3 rounds move by. Still awaiting word on any damage in those areas. I hope everybody's okay. But the 2 main strongest storms locally at the moment, which have warnings, first, a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Walker, northwestern Gordon, south central Whitfield. That's out to 1:45 Eastern. And then, of course, this tornado warning to DeKalb County till 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Central. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning, so it may not be producing a tornado at the moment, but it could based on radar rotation. So we're constantly keeping an eye on that. Again, you can see right just west of Valley Head, radar rotation noted there. Also, we're watching, as I move this radar over a bit, we're watching over in here. See, there's still a little bit of rotation in that southern, southeastern corner of Walker County. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, But keep in mind, there's still a bit of rotation being seen. So we'll keep in mind and watch to see if there's any updates on that particular cell. I'm just cautious. I just don't want anyone caught by surprise. I don't like surprises in the world of weather. I really don't. And I can't control this stuff. So, but we just watch and see what we can do. Hey, south of Chatsworth, Resaca, it's noisy. This particular storm here, there's no warning with it. You are going to be getting more rain and lightning coming your way, so it's going to be a little noisy, hard to sleep from Dalton to Chatsworth. And then Resaca to Villanelle, you're under this severe thunderstorm warning, so it's going to be extra noisy in that area too. And around Chattanooga, I hear outside now, things are quiet at the moment. I'll show you one other concern I've got for the night. Let's go to... This is rainfall over the past 24 hours. And here's where we got to be concerned about. Some of this rain is from last night, and some of this is through tonight. But look at this rain core just east of Dalton. You've already had a radar estimate close to 5 inches, some over 4 inches in the past 24 hours because of these repeated rounds of storms. This is making me worry about a flooding threat. And you can see even in areas like around Lafayette, these repeated rounds over 3 inches, south of Chickamauga around 2 inches. And a lot of this goes back to last night with the rounds of storms. You can see exactly the pathway they took. And with these repeated rounds rolling by, right down that path, flash flooding is going to be a problem. Earlier on today, we had flood advisories out for northern Megs. And up in that area, estimate still, it's possible. This is a radar estimate. Your rain gauge, if you live in these areas, give us a rain gauge update. Because again, these totals are very concerning. The ground's saturated. Any more heavy rain overnight is going to increase that flooding risk. So all modes of severe weather remain possible through the night. All right, this is that storm with a tornado warning attached to it. The warned part of it is in DeKalb County, but the northern flank of that storm extends into Dade County, not far from Trenton. So it's pretty loud in Trenton, pretty loud in western Walker County coming up over Lookout Mountain. And again, we're keeping an eye on this part of the storm. There's still a tornado warning with this because of radar indicated rotation. You can see it right there. Not hard to pick out. Didn't we just look at this? I mean, it's right over Valley Head again, just 35 minutes ago. I believe Huntsville has an update on this one too. Yeah, this is the same update we had before. They're continuing that warning for this east central part of DeKalb County. This is radar indicated tornado warning, so it could have large hail with it. But again, a fairly decent rotation noted right now near Valley Head.
We're getting a lot of questions on sleeping.
Yeah. Folks, my best advice is if you're not in the warned areas at the moment and you want to get some sleep, and I totally understand that. It's a work and school night. And have an alert device handy. Keep the volume turned up and be sure it's loud enough to wake you up. And if so, grab some shut-eye, take a nap. But be advised that all of our viewing areas still is under tornado watch till 4 a.m. It's still going to be a bit noisy in some spots with heavy rain and of course, a lot of loud claps of thunder. But if you do need to get some sleep, I totally understand it. Just have an alert device close by, in earshot, we can hear it. And, you know, if it goes off, turn us on because we're still going to be here. Our team will be here tracking stuff for you. So that's my best advice at the moment. It's very late in the night. I know it's really quiet, Chattanooga to Cleveland. I get it. But we still have, as you can see, more storms coming in from the west. At the moment, they're not severe. They're below that. We hope it stays that way, but there's still a lot of energy in the atmosphere. And we have to see over the next few hours how much of that energy was spent on this first round of severe storms. That's why it was so hard when we were analyzing this today. People were asking, hey, I want a specific time. It was so hard to nail that down because you could watch the line, but the big question always was, if those supercells start forming, all bets are off on timing. And that's exactly what happened. Right after 6 o'clock newscast got to be 7 to 8 o'clock, those supercells started popping off, and boy, they just went one after the other. And that's where the timing accelerated. These moved in a little faster than some of the timelines showed. And again, that's just what we had to watch. It's like watching popcorn kernels pop out there. And so that's what made it a little tough to determine the timing. So that's why we had to give it kind of a broad window of sunset to sunrise. I know people want to be more specific, but you can't in situations like that when you're dealing with supercells. Very tough. But with that said, we've known that this Wednesday night was going to have a huge potential more than 60 hours ago. So it's unfortunately lived up to the billing. People think, oh, I bet you'll have severe weather. No, I don't. I do not like seeing people's property or lives threatened. I don't. But my job is to make sure you're informed and safe, and that's what I'm here for. I know we interrupt programming. I know we don't stay on the same place all at once as we're dealing with higher priority warnings, but just trying to make sure that, the stronger storms are getting that priority out there. Large area to cover on nights like tonight. But that's my advice for folks who want to get some shut-eye. I guess if I kept on rambling, I'd put people to sleep anyway. But again, I appreciate everybody staying up with us and watching. I do appreciate that. You can watch us on our YouTube channel, Facebook Live, newschannel9.com, and on Fox Chattanooga News Channel 9 on the air. So whatever device you have, we got you covered. We're here for you. Let's check this again, your mid-tone. Yep, there it is. There's still that rotation there. So again, be advised, this is still a tornado warning storm. Your mid-tone.
Now, I know you said not to focus on timing, but tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
we're still expecting.
I would say at least through mid-morning, about 9 a.m. I still think we're going to be dealing with rain. I know a lot of schools have delayed, and I think that's a good idea because I think the flooding threat, and letting people drive once it's daylight, because when it's dark and there's flooding, or there's previous damage from storms, like a tree down, a limb down, you don't want to be driving to that. Yeah, school bus. I don't want kids waiting for the school bus and all that. And it can still be raining also. So it's a safety thing. I get it. I respect that when schools do that. I really do. They're just trying to be what's best in the kids' safety. And parents' safety for that matter. And trying to give parents enough leadway time, because I know at many homes, both parents are working and it's hard to adjust the schedule. So I get it. So, okay. This is still in effect till the bottom of the half hour. There's still that rotation noted in your mid-tone. And again, this is a bingo. Severe thunderstorm warning here just issued for Chattooga, Walker, It's the same area had a tornado warning about an hour ago. This is a severe thunderstorm warning because of the same storm we're watching your mid-tone as it moves to the east. 60-mile-an-hour gust, quarter-size hail. Moving to the east at about 35 miles an hour is for this same storm. So again, we do see rotating in that. It's a little bit more elongated. But this tornado warning expires in DeKalb County. I think it'll expire before 2 a.m. or before 1 a.m. Central. Because it's right now on Lookout Mountain in and around Mentone. And because of this, as it moves east, you probably got that alert tone and you're thinking in southwest Walker and Chattooga, you're going, again? Yeah, again. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. Be wary of this storm because of its past history. It does still have some rotation with it. I want you to be aware and just kind of stay in your safe place. This is out to 2:15 Eastern, roughly the next 45 minutes. This is for southwestern Walker, northern Chattooga. This storm moving east at 35 miles an hour, gusts as high as 60 miles an hour, and quarter-size hail. This includes areas like Somerville, Tryon, Center Post, Suttles Mill, areas we've repeated so often the past 2 nights. And again, not noted here in the warning, but we've had a lot of rain. Please be aware of flash flooding. Please don't lose sight of that. Let's move the velocity scan over here. You know, we were watching the broad rotation in that storm over Walker. Let's move the scope over a little bit. Okay, it still exists. It still exists right between Villanelle and Sugar Valley, right there. Let me point it out. I'll pause it. So this is a severe warning storm. Notice that rotation, not quite as pronounced, but it's right in there. Right between Villanelle and Sugar Valley. So again, worthy of the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. I'm very cautious in watching things like that. Again, this particular warning, which includes northern Gordon, back through southern Walker, is kind of under overlapping warnings, but that's in fact till 1:45, the next 15 minutes. But you got another storm coming in behind it. So for the next hour in these areas, the next hour through here, it's going to be pretty noisy for the next hour. These storms developing over northern Jackson for a change. No warnings associated with those, just kind of loud. I'm sure it's keeping you awake. Henniger, you're out of it finally. Henniger, you're about to get a break for a while. Little rain, little lightning coming in, but Henniger, Sylvania, Dutton, Eider, all getting a break. It's so nice to not see any other upstream storms coming in from Huntsville. It's been pretty rough out there. Valley Head, you're on the tail end of that heavy rain. And again, this is sort of a handoff. This rotation right along the Georgia-Alabama border. And again, this part of Walker and Chattooga under a severe thunderstorm warning. This, the threat about to move out of Alabama, but still right along the line there. So respect where that warning is. Keep that in mind. Let's track this part of the storm, moving east at 35. Again, you're going to have overlapping storms, so keep in mind that Villanelle is already storming now. I'm tracking this particular cell. So center post around 141, more heavy rain, more potential wind gust, more lightning. That's coming your way. Tryon around 149, catching some lightning and heavy rain. Villanelle is storming now. The second storm will approach you by 2 a.m. Likewise, Sugar Valley, it's storming now. The second one comes your way around 2:18, about 45 minutes forward. So there's a 45-minute gap from one cell to the next, right on the heels of each other, okay? And it's also repeated rounds that cause flash flooding. Likewise, we'll track this one, this other warned storm. So here we go, Dalton. Next few minutes, you'll be getting more lightning, heavy rain coming your way. Spring Place, east of Dalton, 153. Chatsworth, about 158. Ella J, 226. So Ella J, you just got out of a couple of strong cells moving in, and now you got more coming up and over the mountain. We'll see if they hold together there. But within an hour near LJ, this particular cell, heavy rain and a lot of lightning. And they're holding on to that tornado warning there, that part of DeKalb County, although, as we've noted before, it looks like the rotation with that storm has now crossed the state line. You can see it right there. Still prompting the severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll keep an eye on that particular rotation there. And we had 2 storms of rotation roll by that same area last night. And this is the second one to roll by that area tonight. So here's an update from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. So this is still a Doppler radar indicated rotation. 11 miles northeast of Fort Payne, moving east at 30. So again, it'll be moving through, it's now north of Mentone, DeSoto State Park area, and continuing to move off to the east at around 30 miles an hour. That was their update as a few moments ago. So that warning remains in effect until the top of the hour. It'll probably clear out of DeKalb before then. But again, for you folks on Lookout Mountain, that part of DeKalb County, please be aware of this storm. Beautiful area there. If you've ever been to Little River Canyon, DeSoto State Park, you know what I'm talking about. It's beautiful up there. So it's a very elongated rotation there. So be cautious. The National Weather Service Huntsville continues that warning. This same cell prompting a severe thunderstorm warning across the remaining portion of southern Walker and northwestern Chattooga County. So again, this warning from this same cell remains in effect until 2:15 Eastern time. And those are the remaining warnings at the moment. Again, folks, thank you for staying with us tonight on our live stream. And there's still more storms ongoing, although these still remain below severe levels. Heavy rain, lots of lightning, Pikeville to 10 Mile to Decatur to Athens. Very quiet around Chattanooga and Cleveland. But let me repeat again, as we've noted throughout the night, tornado watch remains in effect until 4 a.m. It looks like Huntsville's canceled some of their warnings, some of their watches. So it looks like Franklin's been taken out of the watch. And in and around Huntsville, that's interesting. Yeah, so it's interesting in North Alabama, now only DeKalb and Jackson are under that watch. Huntsville's removed Madison and Franklin from that watch. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, Storm Prediction Center continues to show possible development. That's why these watches, look, they go all the way back toward Memphis. So it's a very long area included under the watch. So again, for Chattanooga and most of our viewing area, that remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern. And again, you see still the march of severe storms. And I want you to notice something. We have these storms, and then here's this main line that is still yet to press southeast. This is still going to be moving through potentially later on into the night and toward the early pre-dawn hours. We've got some time. I'll show you a future track. This is a high-res model. So let's advance forward to about 4 a.m. Still some clusters of storms to the east. And then here's this line way back here to the northwest. So between 4 and 5 a.m., we still got this next line moving in. We'll have to see how much energy's left, how severe they stay. But again, it gets very concerning. 6, 7 a.m., look at that. Potentially severe towards sunrise. And also increasing the flooding threat. 7 to 9 a.m., heavier rain pushing away. It's still raining locally. And then finally, 10 a.m. to noon, the rain moving out. So let me back that up again. We're going backwards here. So it's that line coming down from the banner, north and west near Nashville. We still have that yet to move by. Those could still be intense towards daybreak, depending on how much energy is still left in the atmosphere. At the very least, cause a flooding threat. I'm really concerned about that. We've had way too much rain, and it could cause flash flooding immediately. That's very concerning. So that gives you an idea that we're not over with this for a long shot. We are getting a break in some areas, and that's always great. It's very appreciated. I'm happy for that. But again, it's kind of short-lived. All right, let's go through these 2 warned storms, okay? What's left of this tornado warning, the part of that storm is now crossing the state line, about to exit out of DeKalb County. Still, that remains in effect, well, especially over near DeSoto State Park area. And now we've got the more ragged-looking rotation with that storm, moving right over the previous one. There's the previous one. See it there. And here's the next one. Again, there's the previous one. There's one right on its heels. A little bit more elongated, a little more ragged, but it's still right along the Chattooga-Walker border. And that's why a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, because at the very least it could be causing strong wind gust. And there's that severe thunderstorm warning, Chattooga and Walker, until 2:15, the next 35 minutes. And then, of course, the storm that is now here from Dalton south prompted this polygon, this severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll pause that for a second. It had the more pronounced rotation through Alabama. And now, it's hardly noticeable. It's kind of wraps itself up right there along the Murray County border, right there. See it right there. I'll back it up. It's right. See what's left of it? It's right there. And it kind of fizzles right there. So it's still some strong wind gust potential south of Dalton. But yeah, that's encouraging. We like to see fizzling on nights like tonight. Still noisy on the eastern part of Gordon County. LJ, you got more rain coming your way for a while. And 2 main warnings. Okay, they finally, that tornado warning, you're in the all clear now at DeKalb County. That warning's over. Now, I know National Weather Service Huntsville being cautious with it. I totally understand that. Kept it up there, and for good reason. And so Mentone, DeKalb, you're in the clear. You're in the clear. Now, again, these are not tornado warnings per se over North Georgia, but just stay in your safe place. Severe thunderstorms are strong enough, and this is still a pretty strong storm over Walker, northern Chattooga. You know, the strongest part of the storm is this right here, and this strong cell between Dalton and Resaca. But again, the rotation that was there, a little less prevalent than it was. This one still has some rotation there. You can see it. We'll take a gander inside the storm. You can see it right there. So it's still there. But it's a little bit more ragged in appearance, but, you know, we'll still watch it. She's laughing about descriptive terms. Ragged. Ragged appearance. It looks pixelated. No, but that's it right there. So you still got to keep an eye on those things. All right, new alert here. Oh, all right. Jackson and DeKalb County have now been taken out of the tornado watch. Okay. I still say with caution because We'll show you the updated map here. There's our updated map. Again, as we showed you on our future track model, there's still going to be more storms coming in, so don't let down your guard. Franklin, Jackson, DeKalb. For now, things are better, and that's awesome because it's been a really rough night for these areas. But keep in mind that toward daybreak, there could be more storms coming in. So there might be an extension of a future watch, but for now, Franklin, Jackson, DeKalb, watch is out of here. So take a break for a while, maybe get a little shut-eye. But please be aware that as we go deeper into the night, deeper into the early morning hours, you might have that watch extended, okay? So all the rest of our viewing area still until 4 a.m., roughly the next 2 hours. But again, our severe threat will go beyond 4 a.m. Well, here's another alert. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to the radar. And here we go. It is this black box outlined here. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued by the National Weather Service in Peachtree City. Southern Murray, southeastern Whitfield, northern Gordon. Severe thunderstorm located just 9 miles southeast of Dalton over near Tilton, moving east at 35, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail possible. Similar threat level as the other storms they've had throughout the night. So Dalton, Calhoun, Resaca, Ramhurst, Sugar Valley, and Audubon, Oakman. And again, treat this as you would a tornado warning. Say an interior room, lowest level of your building. Let this storm pass by because these have a very strong potential of very strong wind gusts. Again, it's for this storm right here, right there, moving east at about 35. And this is one we noted that the circulation wasn't quite as strong, but see that bright red? That's still some strong wind gust. See, the rotation not quite as pronounced, but still some pretty nasty winds with that. That could be producing some straight line wind gust. This estimates around 60 miles an hour, in quarter-size hail. All right. Why is the radar loading on me? There we go. So 2 warnings. This one kind of took over from that other warning. Chattooga and Walker, that's out to 2:15, severe thunderstorm warning. And this one, Gordon, Murray, Whitfield, until 2:15. That's a newly activated severe thunderstorm warning. Those are the only warnings locally at the moment. For the next half hour, still under warnings. Lexi, any other comments you got coming across the email wire while we got a brief pause here while we watch these storms? Any?
No, honestly, not really.
Okay.
Kind of.
People getting a little sleep, maybe. That's a good thing.
We've gotten a few flooded comments.
Okay. Yeah.
That's about it. So
Okay. Yeah. And again, I can't stress this enough. I keep repeating that, but I want you to see something. This is the 24-hour rainfall radar estimate totals, and this is where it's still raining, and more rain yet to come toward daybreak.
Yep.
This is worrisome. This is a radar estimate. Your rain gauge may have had more or less, but that's where flooding could become a problem. And this is where those repeated rounds have rolled by throughout the night. Yeah, this is it. I mean, if that's accurate, that's very worrisome. because any more downpours, it's just like pouring water on a wet sponge. It's got nowhere to go. It's going to cause excessive runoff.
Starting to sound really scary in South Dalton.
Yep. Yeah, South Dalton's where we got that new severe thunderstorm warning. Really, you're hearing a lot of loud claps of thunder. The worst of that storm really is just south of Dalton. So you're hearing it from the southern edge of Whitfield County, that thunder. Where was that?
Clarksville.
She's showing me pictures of hail. That was near Clarksville?
Yeah.
So what is that? What kind of fruit are they comparing that to?
Lime. That's a
Lime?
lime.
That's a lime?
And this is hail.
Lime-sized hail.
In Clarksville.
Lime, lime. That is huge. That is near Clarksville, Tennessee tonight. Wow. And we keep an eye on this one with that, broad circulation. There it is. Still watching it, still keeping an eye on it. Still rotating, a little bit of rotation of that storm right along the Walker-Chattooga County line. So right along 27, they'll be crossing over. Just be aware of some strong wind gusts with that. I know last night, northern Chattooga, we had some trees down and around the Tryon area, so hope that didn't happen again tonight. But, this is still a pretty strong storm we're watching, worthy of the severe thunderstorm warning. And the same thing with this one. Although, as I mentioned again, the radar rotation was not quite as pronounced, but you see some bright red. It's still, this still could provide some very strong gusts through here. Gust potential southern Murray. As our viewer noted, it is light around Dalton. Large cluster of lightning there, southern Whitfield, southern Murray. So really the worst of that is riding just south of Dalton and Chatsworth, and the movement is to the east. So it's moving more in this general direction. Wow. Lexi's showing me a video of that hail in Clarksville. That's awful. That's what I feared a lot, because we've had potential of ping pong ball size hail in spots tonight. So this has been a very worrisome event to watch unfold. Let me move around here to Grundy County. It's getting a little noisy there in Tracy City. There's no warning with that. Very heavy rain, a lot of lightning with that. There's some pockets, strong wind burst pockets here noted. We're not seeing the rotation like before, but heavy rain and tremendous amount of lightning north of Mount Eagle, south of Altamont, and in and around Tracy City. So Dunlap, you'll start hearing some thunder in the distance very soon.
Power out in southern Chattooga County.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, EPB is very sporadic. 263 customers affected through EPB service area. So that's okay. That's all things considered, when these storms move by, that's not as bad as we've seen before. But we're not done with the night yet. But I know those crews are out and about working as hard as they can. And we appreciate all those men and women who work the lines these late nights. Again, up in here, you're getting some wind gust, heavy rain, lightning, Spring City to Dayton to Pikeville. They'll be pushing Decatur to 10 Mile. It's noisy out there, but these remain below severe levels. No advisories on those either, so not a whole lot of wind with them. But I know it's noisy, and I know it's aggravating when you're trying to sleep. Then your nerves are at end, because of the worry of severe weather. I totally understand. Again, there are only 2 warnings locally at the moment. Both expire in about 20 minutes.
All right. Power outage US shows way more outages in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina.
Okay.
That comes from our producers.
Okay?
We also have a viewer who says there is hail in Chatsworth right now.
In Chatsworth right now, okay? Thanks for that update. In fact, I can turn on our hail tracker. I haven't done that in a while as we've had tornadoes to track. I'll turn off the reflectivity here for just a second. We just kind of isolate it's just the hail. And yeah, this shows you the hail as it moved right here. So it's a little bit larger, but they're just south of Chatsworth. Going to have some small hail there. Same thing, northern Chattooga. Some large hail right northwest of Somerville and south of Chatsworth. Thanks for that report. You guys are our eyes and ears on the ground. We appreciate you. That's awesome. Everybody's a member of the Storm Track 9 team tonight. We're in this together. Area-wide teamwork, as I call it. Once again, folks, let's take a look at our future track for the rest of the night. And the reason why we're still concerned about, the other risk of other storms during the night. Let me back this up just a second. Again, this is not the current radar. This is a high-res short-term model. So this is an estimate between now and, say, 4 a.m., 2 hours from now. So we're going to be watching these areas farther north and west with time. And as it moves, you move in time from, say, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., you start noticing this line showing up from Crossville to Mont Eagle. And as you approach towards sunrise, here comes that line down to the south. Now, again, we have to be mindful of potential severity, but also potential of more heavy rain and risk of flash flooding right during that potential commute time. Now, a lot of schools have delayed for good reason. And you can see through 8, 9 a.m., still dealing with heavy rain, probably not getting out of the rain till after, say, 10, 11 o'clock toward midday. So we got a long way to go before this all exits. And just to show you where all of this is at the moment, this gives you an overview of the entire region. All right, here we are, here. So these are still the strong storms we're dealing with now. And there's the line here that still has to move south and east through the remainder of the early morning hours. Now the questions remain through the night. How much energy was spent from these? Will these still be able to be maintained severe? They're feeding off the atmosphere that was allowed to recover itself over the past few hours. That's why there are numerous severe thunderstorm warnings along this line. So we'll have to watch, 1, the severity through the pre-dawn hours, and then 2, the flooding risk. All these flood advisories are already in effect, and now could only get worse as the night goes on. So that's what we're watching for the remainder of the night. And notice again where we're getting the breaks. Here's the flash flood warning showing up. Shows you all the rain out there, but you can see flash flood warning to 2 a.m. Bledsoe, Hamilton, Ray, Sequatchie, all that rain we've seen. There are flood advisories in other areas, flash flood warnings. Flood warning, Catoosa, Murray, Walker, Whitfield till 5 a.m. till 3:30 Central Time. So we showed you the rainfall map, and that's what our big concern is overnight. It's a flooding threat. Again, 2 ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings out for roughly the next 15 minutes. We're approaching 2 a.m. Eastern Time, our 6th hour of this live streaming storm tracking. And it'll go on for a while longer because Good Morning Chattanooga starts in 2.5 hours. But Ryan will be here and Bill will be here, and they'll be taking over in about the next hour or so, and continuing through the overnight hours. And then, you know, getting us through the rest of the night and into Good Morning Chattanooga. So again, flooding risk worried about. Severe thunderstorms still a risk throughout the night. So very concerned about that flooding threat as we approach the morning hours. Again, let's go back and take a look at this storm. We've been focused on severity all night long. And you see just east of Tryon right there. Right there. That's where we saw a little bit of rotation showing up. Again, as I've used the phrase ragged. It's a bit more ragged than before, but it's a little bit farther south than the previous one. But still got to have some very strong wind gusts in and around Tryon. So heads up there. That's why that warning is in effect. Severe thunderstorm warning. And then near Chatsworth, we'll see if that situation inside the storm changed any. Yeah, still some strong wind gusts right along 76. Right about there. A little bright red in there. Strong wind gusts moving through there. And that's the reason why the severe thunderstorm warning stays in effect in that area. Again, getting storms moving through Grundy County. Again, not severe at the moment. There are flash flood warnings in effect, so please be aware of, of rapid rise in water. We've shown you the rainfall amounts, and that is going to be concerning throughout the night, the risk of flash flooding. The deep reds you see are the flash flood warnings ongoing. And I'll show you again, as we noted before. Look at the amount of rain. Where those warnings are in effect, and we're nowhere close to being finished with the rain. Nowhere close. And this is very worrisome in that area. If you live in a flood-prone area, please take some time to get to a safer, higher ground, safer place. In many of the areas, basically where you see the yellow, that indicates a little over 2 inches of rain. We had heavier rain earlier in the day Wednesday. Areas north, which they've already exceeded 4. We mentioned 4 to 5 inches in these areas. It's now up to 6 in some spots of Whitfield County near Dalton. So flash flooding is imminent at the moment. Oh, well, that's good. Again, we'll keep an eye on these 2 warnings expire in about 15 minutes. Again, we're squarely focused on the severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll put the flood warnings back up there. We have to take this, and we've had tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and the ongoing flooding threat is going to stay, probably take over as top priority for a little while here as the night goes on. This severe thunderstorm warning, that's moving right along 411, almost moving out of that polygon. Same thing with this one. This one might get extended. into Gordon County. It's still pretty strong. A lot of lightning with that. Southern Walker, southern Chattooga as it heads to the east. And still that rotation within the storm noted. Again, the areas in green, just updating with the flash flood warnings are in effect. It's right in that area where we showed you the heavy rain.
More hail from Jasper, Tennessee. Well, what size would you say this is?
Wow, you can see the layers of that hail also. That would be, well, it's bigger than a quarter.
Yeah.
That's close to ping pong ball. If it's just kind of, it's not smooth, but yeah, it easily ping pong ball size hail. It's about 1.5 to 2 inches diameter. That was in Jasper?
Yeah,
Wow.
just a few hours ago.
So please note in these areas, Whitfield, Murray, and all these areas, you have a flood warning, flash flood warning through the early morning hours. So we're going to step from severe weather for a second to that of a worry of flooding. We're already worried about flooding as it is, but we have to watch the severe threat and then the flooding threat. That's how we mentioned earlier on tonight that all modes of severe weather would be possible with damaging wind gusts, hail, heavy rain, tornadoes, and the risk of flooding. And that's even more worrisome because we're nowhere near the end of the rain threat yet. It's only going to get heavier with the next round that rolls by toward daybreak. Yep, South Pittsburgh, that's some inch and a quarter diameter hail there too. These were hail producers for sure. Let's go back and take a look at the severity of this storm here. Yeah, still a little bit of rotation with that thing. Wouldn't be surprised if they extend that warning out a little while longer, which includes Gordon County, maybe. We'll see. But that's right along the Chattooga, Walker County line. No reports of damage, but we'll still keep an eye on that for any extension in that warning. And be advised, Gilmer County, this one's about to exit out of Murray. That's going to come rolling in up the mountain, so you may have some strong wind gust coming up and over toward LJ. And then keep in mind, even as this area might see the warning expire, it might get extended because of this cell right there. Still dealing with a pretty strong cell. Heavy rain across Grundy into northern Marion, so heavy rain near Whitwell. Grundy under that flash flood warning. So while it's not a severe storm, it's still a severe situation with flooding.
This is big.
Yeah, Rising Fawn. Wow. Yeah, that's some big hail. See, that's the problem. That's the type of hail that big that can cause damage to cars, to property, vinyl siding. So I think a lot of folks assess some of the damage with daylight tomorrow are going to be surprised in some of the stuff you see. Thanks, folks, for sticking with us on our coverage tonight. I'm Meteorologist David Glenn. Meteorologist Lexi Horvath is the other voice you hear here. She talks kind of low. But anyway, we're watching, again, we've been watching and tracking tornadic producing storms throughout the night. Severe storms and flash flooding. And we have still 2 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing at the moment and numerous flash flood warnings. And as we mentioned throughout the night, we're not close to being out of this threat yet. Now, granted,
we'll have to see if especially this warning here might get extended. This one may be able to expire. But our threat concerning the rest of the night, we're watching other cells develop to the west, and then here's a line right here. And as this line right there, it's going to start a movement more toward the east and southeast with time. And that's what deeper into the morning and towards sunrise could cause another development of severe storms and heavy rain again. And so it's only going to make this flash flooding threat worse as the night goes on. So please be careful driving. Please don't until at least after sunrise till daylight, so you can see if your roadway is impacted by flooding. As we say so often, turn around, don't drown, and we mean that. But still, we got to watch these storms. You notice back here near Columbia, west of Columbia, there's a new tornado warning there. That's way out west of I-65, but the atmosphere is recovering a bit, which means these storms are regenerating again and moving south and east. So we're a long way from being out of this. We're getting some breaks, and it's very welcome for sure, but please don't let down your guard. Not at all as these storms making their way farther east. So here's still some broad rotation there on it's just rotation within the storm. That's the reason why the severe thunderstorm warning is continued. But it's a lot less impressive looking than it was before. So we'll see if they extend that warning with time. It's still pretty noisy out there. And of course, this particular cell, a lot of this is outpacing the polygon there. Still some strong wind gusts, although not a lot of rotation noted. There you can see the radar a little bit better, taking the warnings off for a second. See the extent of the rain and lightning.
We have a few questions about what are the current warnings that are up.
Yeah, the only warnings at the moment, and these go for about the next 5 minutes. So let me show areas east. We had some tornado warnings about an hour and a half ago over Cherokee and Clay County. Things are improved greatly there. Still raining, lightning coming out of Polk County. So you got some downpours coming your way towards Murphy, Polk County, Fannin County. But at the point right now, they're not severe. So that's a good thing. Little break for a little while. Okay. You asked about the warnings? Well, here's a new one. And it's this right here. This storm triggered this new warning, but we've been talking about that. So it's no surprise, no shocker. Again, Chattooga, Floyd, Gordon, Walker. More specifically, northeastern Floyd, southeastern Walker, northwestern Gordon, and northeastern Chattooga. Severe thunderstorm warning out until 3 a.m. Eastern. Next 45 minutes. And wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail possible. So if your alert just went off in Floyd, Walker, Gordon, Chattooga, this is the reason why. I got to point something out geographically. Floyd County is a very odd-shaped county because most of Floyd County we think of Rome, right? And here's Rome down here. But there's a little spur that goes all the way up to Walker County. People may not realize Walker and Floyd County meet. And so it's that little spur right there of Floyd County that's under that warning. So it's only that part of the county. So southeastern Walker, northeastern Floyd, northwestern Gordon, northeastern Chattooga. In this little polygon right here for the next 45 minutes. And it's because, as I've been noting, and continuously showing with our velocity scan, there's still a little bit of rotation. It's still a pretty strong storm. Still has a potential very strong wind gusts and quarter-size hails we've seen with many reports of these storms. And not to mention,
more heavy rain going over an area that's already seen too much. So this polygon will disappear in about 2 minutes. We'll see if this storm gets extended with time. We might be left with just this polygon here from southern Walker to Gordon near Calhoun. So again, that's the newest severe thunderstorm warning there for until 3 a.m. for northeastern Floyd, southeastern Walker, northwestern Gordon, and northeastern Chattooga County. Movement is to the east at around 30 miles an hour. We'll do a quick tracker here for you. Worst part of that storm is right in here. So just a brief outline. A few timelines here. Sugar Valley around 2:23, Calhoun 2:35, Redbud 2:46, and right around 3 a.m. at Ranger. And again, just to note, this polygon is going to disappear momentarily, probably this one too. We'll see if this gets extended into Gilmer County farther. And notice all the green, this represents flash flood warnings. Please be aware of this. All right, both of those disappeared. There you go. So we're down to this one remaining severe thunderstorm warning. Resaca, Calhoun, the main areas impacted, and south of Villanelle, impacted by this storm over the next 45 minutes. Again, there was still some rotation noted in that storm. We'll keep an eye on that. Should that change severity. LJ, heavy rain, lightning, still some strong wind gust potential coming your way, but also note the flooding risk, flooding danger right now. Elsewhere locally, again, we've got rainfall far to the east in Cherokee and Clay County, not severe. Nobody else under warnings. It is granted a little bit noisy out there, but so far these are remaining below severe levels. I'll take off just so you can see the whole scope of that storm. Again, there are no advisories on this. It's really noisy, heavy rain, lightning. But keep in mind, there's rain falling in an area that's already under a flood warning. And that stays in effect until 6 a.m. Eastern. They're estimating 2 to 4 inches of rain has already fallen in that area earlier, and there's more rain coming in. I really think the flooding is going to impact more people than a lot of the severe storms did. I think it's going to impact a larger part of our viewing area. Severe storms tend to be more isolated in nature where they cause damage, but when you have flash flooding, this can impact a lot of people. All right, let's go back to the storm reports. All right, these are storm reports from tonight. You see hail reports, wind reports. Let's check this in Scottsboro because we watched that tornado move by. All right, just after midnight Eastern, damage to a business roof, doors, and sign. I don't know if that's it's estimated thunderstorm wind damage. For a while there was a radar confirmed tornado there. Check Chattooga. Tree down near Blue Spring area. Let's go south of Chatsworth. Trees down parts of Murray County. These are the hail reports. Cooper Heights in Walker County, 1 inch diameter hail, it's about the size of a quarter. Not a whole lot of wind damage reports.
A lot of power outages.
Here's Pikeville. This is a flooding report here. Flash flood. Flooding along US 127, multiple locations in Bledsoe County. Athens, same thing, although this is a thunderstorm wind damage report. Trees down near Athens, that was just after 10 o'clock. This was the large hail. Look at this. This was the large hail report. I have to really see if this verifies. 3 inch diameter, it's about the size of a teacup. We did see reports of large hail, but I have to wonder if that verifies. That's amazing if that happened. That's awful.
We're getting a lot of questions about the second round
Yeah.
of showers.
All right, let's take a look at the overview one more time, what we're watching. And we can do this now. We're still watching that one warning, Southern Walker, Chattooga, and into Gordon. Now, let me do a couple of things. I'm going to take the lightning off for a second. You can see this better. Let me take the warnings off for a second. All right, so we've got this over us now. That's still just the leading edge. Here's some storm redevelopment. These are non-severe over us at the moment. But what we got to watch for the rest of the night is this. Right there. As this presses forward to the east and southeast, it's going to increase our coverage potential of more severe storms and more heavy rain. So it's going to make the already bad flooding threat even worse. Now I'll put the warnings back up there. And you can see, well, where'd it go? You go back here. Put the polygons back up there. Now you can see along this line, there's a tornado warning there, west of I-65. There are several severe thunderstorm warnings on this line. These are all developing where the atmosphere is recovered. And so this is what's coming our way later this morning, 5 to 7 a.m., rough time estimate. But we have to watch out in here for any development ahead of time. But we're starting to see now, watch how the winds are starting to now come in from the southwest. And then there from the northwest. So we're starting to see that southeast push with that. So with this in mind, here's a high-res model update through the overnight hours. So we go to about 4 a.m. Notice from Nashville to Columbia, watch that line draw farther south. This is by 5 a.m., 5:30. So we're starting to see that southerly push, 5:30 to 7, right through downtown. So 5, 6, 7 a.m., we got to watch that line move by. 8 to 9 a.m., still dealing with heavy rain. Finally out of here 11 a.m. to noon. So still a long way to go with that line. That's what we're watching for. So all that line still to the north and west has to move through. That's what we're watching the rest of the overnight hours, folks. Again, the only severe storm warning at the moment is this one here from Resaca to Calhoun. We have been tracking the velocity scan within that, watching the winds within it. There had been some rotation. There's still a little bit west of Resaca right in here. No, not quite as pronounced as it once was, which is a good thing, but still, nevertheless, Calhoun to Resaca, beware of a damaging wind threat. And that's why that warning is out until 2:45. Next 23 minutes. And then north of there, very heavy rain, flash flood warnings. I can't stress that enough. We've mentioned this throughout the night that flooding is going to be an increasingly bad situation and bad problem as the night goes on. And especially first thing in the morning as we start getting more heavy downpours of rain. But that's the only severe storm warning. You notice all these areas in green are flash flood warnings along the way. And again, I'll take these warnings off just for a minute, right there. And you can see again, these storms off to the west, east of I-65. I-65 is right here. East of I-65, none of these are severe. West of 65, they're becoming severe again. So that's my worry through the nighttime hours. Just to show you again the areas under a watch. Franklin, Jackson, DeKalb are out of the watch for now. I don't think you're out of the severe threat yet. I think the chance may come back later this morning and toward just before sunrise and afterward. And then the rest of our viewing area, our watch remains in effect for the next hour and a half. Could it be extended? Possibly. You may see it go away for a short period of time and then have another watch extended. But it all depends upon the development of storms out to the west and how much the atmosphere recovers from this previous round of rain that's rolled by. Will we just get heavy rain or will we get severe weather? Only time will tell as we watch that develop through the night. Storm Prediction Center keeps us updated on that, and they still noted that they're still watching this area for potential development, and what we're seeing west of I-65 still kind of proves that there's still that chance. Sorry for the silence. I was checking a few things on another screen there. And multitasking at 2 a.m. Wouldn't advise it. All right, heavy rain, Sugar Valley to Calhoun. I'll move the polygon here so you can see. It's mainly south of Dalton. It's getting noisy in Dalton, but you're about to get a break, Dalton. You deserve a break. It's been a little rough. This is going to be south of you. But Sugar Valley, Calhoun to Ranger, between now and 2:45, that's why that warning stays in effect. And again, you can see strong wind gust potential near Sugar Valley, right in here. Again, noisy storms over Sequatchie, over Grundy. No severe storm warning, but there is a flash flood warning. I'll turn it off for a second so you can still see the radar screen. Other areas, again, it's noisy. It's not severe. Pikeville, Sale Creek, Athens. Van Buren and Cumberland under flash flood warnings. To the east, about to see a break for a little while. Cleveland to Copper Hill, Ducktown, Turtletown, Murphy. Downpours, nothing severe. Same thing, Blue Ridge to Copper Hill. Worst weather is mainly on the southern fringe of our viewing area near Calhoun, into Gordon County. We're about to see finally a break in Walker County as a tail end that line's about to move out. Same thing in Chattooga County, about to move out. That parade of storms is about to end for a while. Not completely, but at least for a little while. Get some breathing room here. All these areas still, where we've seen upwards of 4 or 5 inches of rain, all flash flood warnings till Fayette to Ellijay. And in North Alabama, right where the storms rolled right through, repeated rounds, Scottsboro, Henniger, Valley Head, all these areas under a flood warning. That is a flash flood warning for the next hour. We'll take a look at this cell over Sequatchie County. Over near Dunlap, pretty noisy there. That may be a hail producer in that. Some pretty strong reflectivity showing up there. Let's take a look at it. Some strong wind gusts in that. Let's check our hail tracker there. You'll see this disappear for just a second. Yep, see where it's gray right here? A little bit of hail showing up just south of Dunlap. Not large, half-inch size, so that's below what's considered severe. 1 inch diameter hail is basically the baseline for severe storms. So still, that's pea-size hail. So that's why you see that purple shading there, higher reflectivity with that hail. So that's occurring right along 127, I think going back up the mountain from Sequatchie, back on what we call the backside of Signal Mountain. Probably on the mountain right there. Then not quite as reflective now. Oh, look, they just issued an advisory for that. Yep. This is a strong thunderstorm. It's below severe thunderstorm levels, but strong thunderstorm impact northwestern Bradley, southwestern Meigs, southeastern Sequatchie, and northeastern Hamilton County. As I just mentioned, could have penny-size hail. I said pea-size, but they're estimating penny-size. It was half-inch, under half-inch diameter. And wind gusts potentially up to 50 miles an hour. So again, this is not a severe thunderstorm warning, but just letting you know, a pretty nasty storm is coming your way towards Soddy Daisy, probably just south of Sail Creek. Cleveland, Dunlap, Soddy Daisy, Lakesite, Flat Top Mountain, Big Spring. I mentioned Sail Creek, probably just goes just south of Sail Creek. But again, this is a special weather statement. You probably, your weather alert radio probably doesn't go off for special weather statements unless you have it programmed to do so. Many of you don't, and that's fine. But that's why you don't receive alerts for these. But this is just showing that what we're watching, and again, that's out till 3:15. Next 45 minutes, that storm rolling by. As I just showed you on the hail tracker, it had a little bit of hail with it. But worst of it's right there. It's going to be coming up and over the mountain. So in Soddy, be aware of that. Right now, it's right over 127, coming up and over the mountain and back down into the valley there. Near Soddy, right over the lake there. But again, that's below what's considered severe levels, though we're watching that. They shortened the polygon of this severe thunderstorm. It's now basically all just Gordon County. Again, what's left of that rotation is right over Calhoun, so some strong wind gusts crossing the interstate, I-75 at the moment. Very heavy rain with that also, but that warning expires, I believe, in about 15 minutes. No, that goes to the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. My mistake. I think it's going to move out of that polygon before 3 a.m. though. That's a fast mover. I mean, it's moving east at 30. And let's see, if it's here now, I mean, it's just 9 miles from getting out of that polygon. So I don't think that's going to last till 3 a.m. But they might extend it farther east into eastern Gordon. We'll see. We'll see. Just giving you a heads up, letting you know that. And you can see, again, activity picking up again with more showers starting to percolate a bit. Eastern Marion, heavy downpours, all really associated with this little cell here, a little outflow from that causing more downpours. So same things pick up again. So this has been a temporary break for a little while, but not totally out of the woods yet. And I want you to notice again, out here to the west, see these warnings picking up? Severe thunderstorm warnings. They're picking up with this line that's moving east-southeast. So our break is a little temporary. The deeper we get into the overnight hours and toward the pre-dawn hours, it's our coverage of rain goes up, our coverage of storms goes back up, and our threat of flash flooding just continues. I said just continues, doesn't, not discontinues. I want to make sure everyone heard that correctly. Again, we have a special weather statement on this storm. Approaching Saudi Daisy. Just keep in mind it's about to rain heavily. A lot of lightning with it too. That'll affect Saudi Daisy, Snow Hill, Hopewell, north of Cleveland. Even a little bit of hail right along the county border with Hamilton and Sequatchie. Dunlap is noisy over you, but that storm's moving away from you. And scattered non-severe showers entering the southern part of Hamilton County, so some downpours coming to downtown, but right now not severe. Yeah, there's the worst storm locally that has a warning attached to it. It's right over Calhoun. A little bit left over near Sugar Valley. I think that's kind of reacting to the outflow from that storm. LJ, the heavier rain, lightning kind of moving away from you now. Moderate downpours approaching Cherokee County toward Murphy, but not severe. Athens, Decatur, Spring City, you got downpours, occasional lightning, though not severe at the moment. And again, the second other strong storm locally is right here. Saudi Daisy, Seal Creek, Hopewell. That was moving east. I think the estimated forward speed was, let's see, east at 35 miles an hour.
It's the changing of the guards.
Oh, hey, look, Ryan Gold's here.
David Glenn.
Ryan
Never
Gold's
get
here.
to see you.
Oh, I see you all the time, but I see you on TV. But
Of course.
yeah, we're still tracking on. We're live streaming right now on all our platforms. So we're. It's been a busy night. And just kind of give you a recap, and I'll recap everybody at home here. We've had, for a while, part of DeKalb County had a tornado emergency. We've not had any reports of damage yet. It's still nighttime. They had other repeated rounds roll by. So we've had a few radar confirmed tornadoes, Jackson and DeKalb County. No confirmation of damage there yet from those storms, but increasingly worried about the flooding threat as the night goes on. Right. One remaining warning here, that's a severe thunderstorm warning in Gordon County. And then all these flash flood warnings. I've let people know that what we've got to watch is still upstream, right along I-40. Atmosphere's recovering a little bit. Storms are getting stronger, so we're going to have the severe threat during the Good Morning Chattanooga time. And along with that, we're going to be dealing with the heavy rain risk. And let me show this real quickly. And I'll show you this as well. This is what's very concerning. This is the rainfall over the past 24 hours.
Ooh, Dalton.
Yeah, that core near Dalton, and it's still raining right now, where you see these purple shadings, that's roughly about 5 inches or more. So this is a radar, update, but all these areas have flood warnings, currently flash flood warnings. And I'm telling you, that heavy rain we get toward daybreak, that line, that concerns me. Many of these areas in yellow, these are amounts upwards of around 3 inches. So we got some busy time ahead coming up. And the high-res models are picking up on that. So that's the task at hand at the moment that we're watching. Again, the last warning here expires at the top of the hour. I think it's going to clear out of that area of Gordon County before 3 a.m. Then we have one little advisory issued here from Saudi Daisy to Sail Creek, just a special weather statement, but still had a little hail with it. May have some strong wind gusts as it moves from Saudi to Sail Creek. So that is the situation at the moment. And so we've been live streaming since just after 8 o'clock p.m. yesterday.
Yeah, Wednesday. So it's been a busy night. So a lot of folks watching still tonight, and I appreciate that. And everybody's still watching our live stream. And Ryan's here. I know Bill will be here in a little while, and will have us carry us through GMC. So busy start to the morning for you.
Very busy, very busy.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for holding down the fort.
Hey, no worries, man.
Until I get
Hey, thanks for your work yesterday, getting everybody prepared for this.
yeah.
I think everyone has been rightfully concerned and watching the coverage and staying up to date, and I appreciate them letting us know their reports. Lexi's been passing those along to us.
Yeah, I heard teacup-sized hail. in
Yeah,
some places.
that was in Bledsoe County. Now I want to get confirmation on that one.
Right.
Now I'm going. That was from the local storm report, the LSRs we call it, but I'm not going to doubt it because I wasn't there. So I'll
Right.
go with what they say. But I would love to see confirmation, or at least a picture of that. That's massive.
Right, that is massive.
That was a 3-inch diameter hailstone. If that confirms.
I mean, it
verifies.
does make sense with the. They did expect significant hail up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but also that's kind of surprising.
Yeah. It's
a double
weird.
whammy on
And
that one.
Lexi showed me pictures of hail across the viewing area, so
Yeah,
it's
I
been
said some in Sly.
it's been.
Oh yeah, I saw some of those too.
Yeah, y'all could show those on GMC probably.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
a plan. Because we're also going to check out some spots that did have some damage reporting. I know that we're going to go send our reporter, Leslie Dominique. She's going to go out there and she's going to take a look. Of course, when it's clear and when
Yeah.
it's safe. And that's what we also want to stress with you guys. Don't go outside until you get the all
exactly.
clear from us that we've been saying. Glad there's no more rotation out there. I saw that we had around like 7 tornado warnings at one
We
point,
did, yeah,
roughly.
and it's kind of hard, to stay on one and have to go jump away from a
Right.
warning to another one. But we had to stay with that for a while in DeKalb County. I'm very concerned. I want to know if there was some damage there. We'll have to
I believe
check
that's
that
where
out.
we're going to be going.
Really?
That's
That-
where they're going to send Leslie to check out to
Yeah.
see if she can see any damage, and then we can see if the National Weather Service sends somebody out there, and then she could talk to them,
Yeah.
perhaps, and then
Yeah,
we'll
'cause
find
it-
out.
Sure, it's dark and no one can really tell what's going on, and you kind of have to wait till daylight to assess the damage. But for a while, that was a very pronounced rotation on the radar. It was confirmed by emergency managers. So from Scottsboro, Henniger, Valley Head, for a while that was touch and go.
It was a tornado emergency, I believe, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Which-
a very rare tornado
Yeah.
emergency. So I hope everybody's safe and okay right now, and hoping for the best as we get reports from there. Those are reports I don't like to give.
Oh, yeah.
I do not like to do that, but that's when it's there. We have to get the urgency and leave it there. So we've had several other radar indicated tornado warnings, but no confirmation of damages. We've had some trees down in spots, but again, those reports will start trickling in. Again, that's the only severe storm at the moment over Gordon County.
Right.
They might extend that warning, but again, it's the concern with the other storms that are going to be coming in
Yeah, a little bit
as the
later
night goes on. Yeah.
And luckily, we'll be there, for 4.5 hours, covering them all from start
Yeah.
to finish on GMC.
Yep.
So we'll be there for you.
I think it's going to take until the end of Fox Edition, till
Oh, yeah, no,
the rain ends.
I'm prepared for it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
prepared for
It's
it.
going to take a while.
And Bill will be in there to do digital for us. And
Right,
then
right.
We'll
So
be here.
We'll be on air and streaming as we have been. So I know for some people, if you've not been affected watching our coverage, if we're not talking about your area, it may seem boring. I understand that, but so many times we've got to stay on these areas where the high impact storms are, and it's hard to do.
Gotcha. And yeah, that's another thing that we bringing up is that if you're in let's say a house fire situation, the fire department's going to come to put out the house fire somewhere else, not at your house, unless
Right.
it's on fire.
Right.
So we got to focus on the places that
Yeah.
you're important. Your house is important, and you are too. But we gotta get this fire out somewhere else before it reaches to you.
Yeah, and like I said, there's storm. We were taking storm priority levels during the night, and we had to. And when you're over a tornado warning and you're having to move to another one, I hate leaving that one behind, having to go to the other one, and it makes it a hard sort of gamble there. But I appreciate everybody's patience and staying with us tonight, and as our coverage continues. I mean, that's what we're here for. That's
Changing of the guards.
That's what we signed up
Changing of
for.
the
It's kind of a
guard.
change of the guard. here.
Exactly.
Lexi, thank you for your help tonight.
Of
And Lexi will
course.
be on. You're back on night Sunday tomorrow.
Maybe.
Why don't you just take off tomorrow?
I think you should. I mean,
I
you
think
did.
should. I appreciate your help tonight.
You did midday yesterday, and you stayed here from like the entire time. So you need a breather. I'm glad there's no more rotation.
Yeah,
there. We
there's
can see
the
very
rotation's been a little
broad.
bit more obscure. Yeah, and that's been a good thing. It's been. I used the word ragged several times. There were ragged bits and not quite as pronounced, but there were some that were so obvious. Sometimes it's kind of hard when there's a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. It can be hard sometimes to find rotation. These earlier tonight, no, there was no question.
No question?
No.
I had some of my
those are-
meteorology friends sending me pictures of everything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, don't worry, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
following.
It was, it's a dual-edged sword. It's good that you can see the rotation, but it's bad that you're seeing that rotation.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the good thing is that we can actually see where it is
Yeah.
to be in particular. Because
To isolate it,
you get a
yeah.
big broad area of the polygon, you don't know where it is. But
Exactly.
we have got the capability that we could show it and we can see exactly street by street, where it's heading towards for you guys.
Yeah, that one's taking its own sweet time moving through Gordon.
We're going to pull him away.
Well, I'm not gonna do.
Oh, no worries. Yeah,
once this storm expires, I'm sure that he'll be.
Yeah, this one-
more than happy to. As soon as he leaves and he breathes, he's gonna fall asleep immediately. I'm sure.
Me, no. I'll be awake the rest of the night. I can't. I don't sleep much. I don't. I'm 57 years old. I don't know what sleep is. I sleep in shifts.
You sleep in shifts.
Yeah, 3 hours at a time, and that's about it. I don't require much sleep. In my 40s, I had to get a lot of sleep. Not now. I don't know what it is, but I don't sleep much. So, So there you go. All right, we'll do the shift here. So I'm gonna hand the reins over to Ryan Gold. You're in good hands, folks, for the rest of the early morning hours. He's got you covered. He's an ace at radar. I've watched you do this storm tracking, and I think you're very good at it.
Oh, thank you.
And so you're going to be in good hands for the next few hours, folks. We'll watch that warning till 3 a.m. And we'll keep you posted as the night goes on. So
Yeah,
Ryan,
absolutely.
Ryan, the chair is yours, my friend.
He's handing it off. Well,
Handing
David,
it
it's
off.
always great to see you. I wish
too,
that we
buddy.
could see each other under better circumstances.
on sunnier days. I
Sunnier
understand.
days, that's for sure. Lexi, it's always a pleasure to see you. I see you
Always a pleasure.
plenty of times, of course. No, I'm joking. No, but guys, it's good. Salute you guys as well, and get some sleep, or in David's case,
My
get
case,
some
I'll just stay
3-hour
up. Yeah.
rest and at
I'll
times
stay up
it
and
just-
watch this because I'm real concerned about it. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be here. Bill will be in, like you mentioned, a couple hours, and he'll have you on digital. Will I have you on TV? And if anything does end up developing, we will, of course, let you know live. And
Hey,
we'll
I'm
take
gonna
it.
leave
We'll
my
take
mic on
control.
for a second because people are going to see me on camera here for a second. I've got to retrieve. You can see in the corner here my laptop. I got to retrieve my laptop here for a second. Again, that warning stays in effect till 3:30. I'm going to retrieve my laptop here and just kind of get this out of the way. And I'll get off camera here, and we're going to turn it over to Ryan for the rest of the night. But everybody, hey, thanks everybody for watching tonight and for being with us, watching our coverage. Stay safe. We're still not done yet. Ryan will explain why we still have to watch for the potential severe threat later into the morning hours. And I'm very concerned. All these areas under flash flood warnings, please turn around, don't drown. Do not drive through these areas. And understand that this can only get worse as the night goes on. Heavier rain, falling on already saturated ground. It's like water on a wet sponge. It's just going to run off. So I'm very concerned about more severe storms and even more flooding as the night goes on.
And not only that, David, but the wind gusts on
Yes.
saturated ground.
Yes, that's true.
You get
Topple
trees.
over very easily. This is very true. It's a good point you bring up. Soft ground with wind gust, more down trees. That's a very good point, Ryan. Very good point.
Yeah, so, I mean, especially in these areas of flash flooding, I'll take it over from here now. The areas of flash flooding in particular, we're going to end up having to deal with, down trees, I'm sure, maybe even some power lines coming down. I would not be surprised if we already have some issues where power is concerned. I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with that. We're going to take a look once again out and around. We're going to give that broad area so we can all get an idea of this. And I'll keep on going even after that severe storm expires, just to see in case, because this special weather statement up here is still something to at least keep in mind. We could end up seeing that be a potential area that we're going to need to look at, of course. So it's this area right up here that we're going to continue to keep an eye on, as well as this one down here in Calhoun. A lot of thunder and lightning, a lot of heavy winds as well, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hails, about an inch in diameter. And we're going to keep an eye out towards our west, because this is what we're looking at. Now, this looks to be a pretty decent squall line, and this is what we're going to continue to monitor as well through the GMC hours. And I'm really hoping that these warnings expire and that they just kind of die out as they get further into the area. I mean, the atmosphere is getting a bit more stable. It's not fully stable just quite yet, but just walking outside, you can feel a significant difference. I mean, obviously, don't walk outside while it's still raining, but just heading into work today, of course, I felt like it was a lot drier and a lot cooler than it was yesterday to start off with. And that's helpful because, of course, in order to have storms, you need to have heat, you need to have moisture, and all those things, of course, were there yesterday. And then, of course, we got these storms, but it's a little bit better now. So things are trying to stabilize, but the atmosphere could gain more energy in between these little sessions of calm, we'll call them, where the rain isn't really falling, the thunder and lightning isn't happening, and it could gain some extra instability or become unstable again with the heat that we do still have. Now, it is getting drier, which is great, but there is still residual moisture as things evaporate, and as more rain and more moisture come in, we could end up still seeing some baseline areas that could reignite a few things. I mean, we're already seeing it in areas that did get hit pretty hard. I mean, there were multiple tornado warnings in the Nashville area, and we're still seeing 3 different severe storm warnings with that one more line. And it's heading towards the southeast. It's going to be heading towards our area once again. So we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on it. I'm hoping that it does die out. Of course, we all want it to. But at the very least, there'll be very heavy rain, and it'll be very loud again through those 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. and maybe even until 9 a.m. once Fox Edition is over. And of course, we're going to be there all morning long to cover it. And if it and we have to take it completely and not stop, that's what we'll do. And then that's just what we're going to. And then Bill will come in and help, of course, with that. But he'll be in eventually. But for right now, it's just going to be you and me. And we'll get through this together. Once this expires, we'll kind of assess the situation and see how it goes. It's about 3 a.m., so we got about 10 minutes left on this severe storm in Gordon County. But it's going to still be rainy. It's still going to be loud until then. I mean, we've got these showers going through Chattanooga now. Soddy Daisy's got a pretty strong storm going through it now, too. It's a special weather statement. So it's talking about strong storms borderline into severity. I don't think that if it was going to be severe, it would have by now. So I don't think that's going to be a problem by any means. And I don't think there's any rotation there. But David was looking at it earlier, and I saw no rotation with him either. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about these becoming tornadoes, or at least tornadic. But the next line could. I mean, this next line that we're looking at does still have that potential. I mean, it's severe already, but they keep an eye on it, and that's for sure. So I'm probably not going to be on here for very much longer. I mean, it's been, you guys been going on, David and Lexi have been going on for hours. I'm sure a lot of you guys just want to go to bed. And once the severe threat for this initial line, because this is still part of that initial line, goes away, we'll probably call it a time for now. I'll get prepared for Good Morning Chattanooga. We'll be there for you guys there all morning long. We'll have your news. We'll have everything else as well. And, of course, we'll have these weather updates throughout the entirety of the show. We're not gonna stop. We'll always have those updates for you. But for now, it's just this one guy here in Calhoun. We're gonna continue to keep an eye on that. But David was talking about these flash flood warnings. We had a ton of rain. He's showing me in the Delton area, almost 5 inches of rain estimated. And we've got more to come. And that's the problem with this, is saturated ground mixed with new wind gusts. And I mean, if this does stay severe as it comes in. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are damaging winds that can topple trees. And if you get the runoff with the oversaturated ground, it's so soggy that it could knock over trees at varying sizes, not just the small trees, but maybe even possibly big trees could come down as well. So, we're not out of the woods just yet. We're in a break. We're in a little break so that you could take a nap before you've hopefully not have to wake up again with the storms. But, in case you do, in case you are worried, we're here for you the entire time. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop until they stop. That's for sure. So we got about 7 minutes for this. We'll take another broad view. Some other areas are going to be seeing some more of those special weather statements, I'm sure. Heading through Cleveland, we've got another strong storm. You're going to see that about 15, 20 minutes. In Chattanooga, we've got another dose of rain, but it's not as loud, not as thundery. But it certainly is down there in Calhoun. So if we head back over here, I'm still keeping an eye on this system. Hopefully it does actually move further to the southeast, as it is moving this way, which means it would likely end up coming through the Franklin County, Jackson County areas that have already been hit pretty hard. Looks like we're going to have some residual energy left over with that. And I know we talk about doom and gloom, it seems, but let's talk about some good news. The good news is after we're done here, we're going to have sunshine, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, milder, kind of drier, maybe less humid. It's not going to be as intense out there as it has been feeling, not as oppressive as it's been feeling out there as of lately. So there is a silver lining to this. We got to get at least something positive out of it. And the positivity is that this weekend is going to be a lot calmer, a lot more chill, I suppose you could say. And of course, Mother's Day is looking very nice as well. So we can celebrate our mothers and we can celebrate the calmer conditions, We always got to find some positivity in this. I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy. We need to have some positivity in there. So hopefully that makes you happy at least a little bit. But these flash flood warnings, they're going to be expiring later on this morning around 9 a.m., which is roughly around the time that the system itself is going to end. So that one down there near Calhoun is going to end at around 8:45. Now this one through Chattooga County is going to end at around 5 a.m. So that's interesting that it's going to end a little bit earlier, but this one through Dalton and Chatsworth, it's around 6:45. There's a bunch of little flash flood warnings that are going through everywhere. So it seems to be around 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. is when they're going to expire, but they can be extended, especially since that next line is going to be pretty heavy with rain in already overly saturated ground. And of course, David was talking about how, you get runoff with that oversaturated ground, but you also get the strong wind gusts with it too, and with the severe storms anyway. And that could end up causing some problems with not just small trees, but large trees coming down. And it could also knock over some power lines too. You're going to have branches, I'm sure, snapping off that could slap into power lines. So we're not completely out of the woods yet, but we are getting to be in a bit of a lull. So this would be the time, if you can, if you're not still stressed out or have anxiety and you're worried, this would be the time that you can take a nap, or at least try to get some sleep, because it's going to be a while before that next line comes in. Once this one, and it's going to still be loud. We're still going to have thunder and lightning in the Cleveland and Chattanooga area, Soddy Daisy. We're talking more Whitwell and Athens, Pikeville. So it'll still be loud there, but it's not looking severe at this time. Of course, things can change, but I do believe that at least with this line, we're nearing the end of that session. But that secondary line that's coming through is still possible for severity. So we're going to have to continue to keep an eye out there for that. But until then, in the meantime, it is a bit calmer. And it is a bit more chill, you can say. So we got about 3 minutes left on this Calhoun severe storm. It does seem to be that the storm has moved on a lot faster than the warning is, because it's already out of the Calhoun area and heading towards the east. You can't really see it because it's underneath the... that way you can see this. We'll get rid of that flash flooding just for a second so you can see the storm there. Just south of Chatsworth, it's going through Dalton as well. Already extremely saturated in Dalton, and we've got even more heavy rain still there now with that cell that just popped up. But the overall mass of that storm does look a lot weaker than it did look before. You can see that it's not as defined. There's not as much deep red. You can see that that deep red does end up becoming just light red. Of course, that's still very heavy rain, but at least it signifies that it is weakening to an extent, and it's leaving the viewing area just south of Ellijay. So that system itself does seem to be, on the mend, so to speak. But we're going off on this northern cell here towards Cleveland, just north of Cleveland, going through Hopewell, and it's also going to be moving through Calhoun, Tennessee, not Calhoun, Georgia. But that does still have some strength to it. But luckily, it does not look like it's going to be severe. If it was going to be severe, it most likely would have happened already.
All right, brother.
One final goodbye to David
Have fun.
as he's heading out.
Thanks
He's
for
all
the
decked
umbrella.
out. Of course, yes, grab that umbrella because it is very...
Ryan's got you covered, everybody.
All right, so long, David. Thank you so much.
Man, I'll be watching.
Of course, of course. All right, so we got 1 minute left until that Calhoun severe storm expires. We'll hang out for a little while after that to see if anything else does pop up. But at this point, it's just strong to general storms, it seems. A lot of lightning, a lot of severe weather to come. But we're gonna sit down and talk with our producers and figure out how we're gonna handle the morning show, as we're in a bit of a lull now. But we'll be on live from 4:30 on News Channel 9 on ABC, and then we're gonna switch over to Fox Edition at 7 on, of course, Fox. Oh, there you go. Right on cue. Calhoun's severe storm is now expired. We no longer have any more severe weather in the area for now. This is the first time since, I'm sure, earlier this evening, when David and Lexi started, that we have not had a severe storm in the area. So I think we can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief for now, but there is still more to come. And this is what we're looking at. The areas in Nashville, you can see out there in Murfreesboro, areas that have been hit pretty hard yesterday are going to be seeing those severe storms now. Now, there is still time for this to weaken. We're going to hope that it does. I certainly do hope that it will. But we're going to continue to monitor it. And I certainly am too. But for now, I think that we could say goodnight for now. Most of the severe weather is outside the viewing area now. Our atmosphere has been exhausted of energy, but there is still time for it to gain energy before the secondary line. So stick with us if it does end up firing off. Of course, if it does end up looking like this, we'll probably end up just taking it completely and going from there. But yeah, I think that now is a pretty decent time that we could say goodnight. Hopefully you can get some sleep. Still have that plan in place, just in case that secondary line does come through. There is still a chance of tornadoes, and there is still a chance of severe weather. It is lower, and that's the main story to talk about for right now. But until then, I don't see anything else firing off. Nothing else is being issued. That cell up there in Cleveland is weakening as well. There's this cell that I'm not liking the looks of here, coming through the Sewanee, Franklin County area, going towards Pikeville, and once again through the Soddy Daisy area, it looks like. But it just looks like, okay. So there is a deeper area of red that we can see right here. Let's get really into this, because this would be the only thing that would become something. It looks like there's even a hail core for it. So let me just pause that. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this one. So I'm not going to go away just quite yet. I don't like the looks of this. See right here in this pink area, this small pink area, could potentially be a hail core that could fire off a few more areas of hail. And if that's the case, depending on also the winds, they might issue a severe storm warning for this. So this is going through Grootley Logger. This is going through getting through Barkerstown, Bergmantown, Colmont, Palmer, Altmont, as it enters further into the viewing area. I believe that this county, I believe this is Grundy County. I believe this is Grundy County. How to use a cheat sheet for that. I'm still learning. Still getting used to all these county names. But yes, so that is something that we have to keep an eye on. So I'm not gonna sign off just quite yet until that goes away, or at least either becomes a severe storm or weakens to a point or a degree. So let's take a look. Okay, good. So there's not a lot of rotation here. There's some small areas, very patchy. I think what David was talking about or calling it earlier was kind of rugged. And I agree with that here too. You can kind of see some areas of rotation. There's a little bit right there. So the green is going towards the radar and the red is away. So you can see that circulation here. And then also there and also there. So there's a few small areas of rotation, but I would still call it pretty broad. So there's also some over there. Kind of see it right there. So this is the one that I'm going to look for right now. Bill! Bill Race, everybody. Bill Race is in the house. Say hello to the people, Bill.
Hello, people. What happened?
What happened? Well, Bill, let me fill you in.
Yeah, fill me in on the last 8 hours.
So we've gotten reports of teacup-sized hail in some places.
Yes,
And
in our area.
Yeah, and a tornado emergency was near Hennegar in DeKalb County, which I believe we're sending Leslie down there later for the show to take a look at and kind of see if there's any damage that she can find. I'm sure that they're going to end up sending a survey team from the National Weather Service down there to see if something did touch down. But right now I'm looking at this one cell that's going through Grundy County. It does have a very small hail core, and there's a very broad rotation here, but there's that hail core that could be seeing some more. Oh, look, it's gone. Well, great.
Well, you know.
You know, for now. Anyway.
And then we got more out to the west.
And we got more out to the west. So that's the one cell that I'm looking at for now. Of course, the western storms, still looking pretty strong, but a lot of the severe storm designations have died from it. So there used to be about like 4 severe storm warnings with it, and now I only see 1.
Maybe we could have a little more
Oh, well, now
lightning.
there's, okay, I just turned it off for now. So there are 2 other ones. But there goes my hope on that one there,
Well,
Bill.
you know, we got a little bit of a break.
We got a little bit of a break. A little bit of a
But,
break.
Yeah, you may want to we could probably take the break and let you get ready for
Yeah.
the show.
I'm thinking that that's probably what we'll do. I just wanted to look at that Grootley Lager cell.
Yeah, well, that
Some
was
broad rotation.
something, too.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to wait and see what it did with that one. But honestly, if it was going to become severe, I feel like it would have by now. So I think that I am going to listen to you, Bill, and because I was gonna sign off already.
Yeah, well, I was
but,
talking to David out
but
in
yeah.
the newsroom, and we thought that might be a good time to regroup.
Yeah. So if you have been staying up because you were worried about the storms, please take a nap if you can, because we do still have some stronger storms on the way. But for right now, I'm going to turn the mic off. So and then we'll cancel out here. So we'll leave this up and looping for you until we sign off completely on the live stream. Any last things you want to say?
No, that's fine. Everybody did. I was watching, and you know, just a lot of coverage, a lot of good coverage.
All right.
But it was. I don't know if I've seen that many warnings at one time.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Certainly
But-
so. But how many of them actually touched down, we won't know until the
Well,
sun
that's
comes
right.
up.
But
yeah.
severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warning now, and so we got all kinds of things still going on. But we'll be back on the stream during at least the streams.
Yeah.
For GMC.
Bill will be managing that. He'll be
managing that.
he'll be holding your hand, and then if things really do fire off, then he'll be joining me in here,
Yeah.
and we'll have you covered. But if you do have damage, report it to the National Weather Service, either the Huntsville office if you're in Georgia. at the Atlanta office, I believe, possibly if you're in Georgia, actually, or
Yeah,
Huntsville, or which one
is
was?
for Alabama.
So Huntsville for Alabama, Atlanta for Georgia, and Morristown for Tennessee. And then they will come,
And even in Grundy County, Nashville.
and Nashville, yeah. There's a lot of different offices for this. But yeah, let them know. They'll send a survey team out there and they'll let you know if what the situation is.
Yeah.
But until then,
And-
we will see you at